Chastity, the social media influencer and rockstar killer. Maria, from Miami. And Lucy, aspiring actress. Sydney, hip-hop lover and writer, so I'm told. And my quiet one, Mackenzie. Well, hello ladies. I'm Bella. I have a question for everyone. Why do you think rich men cheat? Control.
I'm going home.
Don't go.
Attention.
You bring the total package to the table. You just need the right friends.
Are you my friend?
No, but you can be mine.
And power.
I stuck my neck out for you,
Thank you!
and I pulled the strings to get you onto this show.
Take all three away, and he becomes desperate.
So, what's with the apples?
Well, it represents knowledge, wisdom, beauty, and power. Here, you will learn how to gain ownership of all.
I'm gonna send you the money for the ticket, and I already have your room set up at the Palms.
You do that, babe.
Because once you have possession of the apple, no man alive will have power over you.
You make it sound so easy.
Oh, it's not easy.
Brett, look, I'm sorry.
Save it! Save it!
I get no auditions.
I'm gonna stop you right there.
I get no callbacks.
I really need to get upstairs. They stole all my money.
I don't know who the fuck you think you are, but you're no better than the rest of us.
Right now, they have a do not disturb until this afternoon. If they call you, great.
How is he gonna call me if he doesn't?
If not, charge it to the game.
Make no mistake, ladies. In order to succeed in this game, you must be willing to play it out till the very end.
This business is all types of savage. What are you doing?
But if you follow my blueprint, I guarantee you will become a millionaire within the next 3 years. Possibly way earlier. So, are you ready to take that step?
Another day, another dollar. Ain't about money, don't you holla. 100 miles and racing, and that money conversation be my only motivation, yeah.
Hey everyone, it's your girl Catherine Nunez, and you're watching Real Talk with the director and the counsel on the IE Network.
Real Talk.
Hey, I'm Gina Lou, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hey, what's up? It's Logan Browning, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Real Talk.
Hi, this is Alana De La Garza, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, I'm Diane Franklin from Better Off Dead and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures. You're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, this is Monique Capri, and you are watching Real Talk with the Director on Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, I'm Stormy Maya, and you are listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
It's Vicky Judy, Orange is the New Black, and I'm here with Real Talk.
Yo, what up? This is Jay Ellis, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio. Keep it locked.
Hi, I'm Rita Parks. You are listening to Real Talk Radio with the Director. Hey, I'm Issa Rae, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
And nothing less. Welcome to another edition of Real Talk with the Director and the Jedi Council. I'm the Director. Be with you for the next 120 minutes or so. Real Talk brought to you each and every Monday by, here it is, B2S Media. We broadcast live via the World Wide Web on youtube.com/IE Network TV and on Twitter. And of course, the social network itself, Facebook, aka Meta. Welcome back. Another Monday, doing our thing here. Yes, we got a cool show. We just started last week our tournament for our search, Real Talk search for the hottest TV female character of all time. We started round 1 last week, and we'll be continuing round 2 this week. Also, just came out, and part of our trending topics we'll talk about, and it'll be one of the few, first few things we get to. But Wakanda Forever, just recently, Kevin Feige, the head of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, just did an article basically explaining again why he did not recast, the T'Challa character for this movie. I've been saying for the longest, people, everyone is just flying off the handles, and everyone is saying, "Oh my God, he's not gonna recast T'Challa ever." I don't know. See this. Let me tell y'all something about the Mandela Effect. If you don't know what that is, look it up. You'll understand. That's what's happening here. It's just turning into this whole thing where all of a sudden now it's never gonna be recast. The character's never gonna be recast. I don't know where people are saying they heard Kevin Feige say that. He's never said it publicly because he wouldn't put himself in that position, because he's going to recast T'Challa. I mean, I don't understand. He's just not doing it for this movie. I've been saying this for months, right? So then you got, people who saying it's agenda-based. I don't know where that's coming from. So now it's agenda-based. How? How do you even know the script? But we'll talk about it a little more. Of course, the weekend recap we'll get into, things of that nature. And also James Earl Jones is retiring from, well, let me not put that narrative out there. He has sold his rights to his voice for Darth Vader to Disney. So it's sparking a lot of controversy that he might be retiring from the role, which, I mean, he's earned the right to do that if he wants to. So there you go. But we'll get into that, and of course our tournament and the weekend recap, which I bring in my man Ralph. Kev is on the way. Ralph, what's up, man? Welcome back.
What's going on? I got my Darth Vader shirt on right here.
Yeah, man.
James Earl Jones can't go, man. You still need it,
bro. You know what? I knew that. I knew that.
You still need it, man.
Eventually, I knew eventually it was gonna come to this, bro. They probably got his voice so recorded, and I'm sure now that he's made this deal, if he wasn't already, I think he already had been doing the recordings and stuff like that, because all of these shows that come up that have Vader in them, I don't know if he was coming in live doing that, or were they doing it electronically, like the animated shows and stuff like that. So I'm not sure.
But you know something, you could tell different if you go back and watch Rogue One, right? Listen, just listen to his voice in Rogue One, but then compare that. Listen to his voice in Obi-Wan. Same voice, but you could tell there is a difference to him. Like the voice in Rogue One is James Earl Jones now,
right?
But if you listen to the Kenobi series, that's James Earl Jones from back then. So I mean, I heard they have the ability to change the voice, that they could account for age. So they change.
Right.
It
and
certainly sounds.
And the one on Kenobi is also a mixture sometimes between James Earl Jones and the actor. because whenever like the
Yeah,
time when his thing got cracked open, you can hear they're mixing the voices. They're mixing Hayden Christensen's voice and James Earl Jones' voice only for the like this like when he gets his helmet cracked open, because it's like halfway.
Yeah.
You know, he's still got the halfway of the breathing thing, and then you can hear his voice. You can hear both voices. It's like mixed, but yeah, I agree.
That one I understand because his helmet is cracked and is going back and forth between the sounds of his voice. So I get that one. But I mean, you know what? And I'm gonna give. Normally I don't give studios credit for stuff, but this time I might give credit to Disney. If I was Lucasfilm, you know what I would have had General do? I would have gave him this book. It said, "This is the American Dictionary. Recite every word in the dictionary." So we had you say every single word known to man.
Every single word in the dictionary.
And we could
just record. They probably doing something similar to
known
that.
to man.
So
that we could
you know certain words they're probably because
so
some words
can go back
can
and
be
pick and choose.
Right. Some words can already be simulated through voice, but they're probably having him say hard words or words that are like made up, like different galaxies and different planets, different, stuff like that. They probably having him say those words because you could take words now. You could take these voice things and make the voice with like words everyday words that everybody knows. But
exactly. So I'm sure they got him saying the and the force.
Yeah.
They
right.
got plenty of
the
those.
Force.
But,
Yoda, stuff like that. Yoda. Yeah. Oh, we got a
Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Welcome.
Hey,
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you for joining the channel. As we know, we have exclusive content if you join a membership of the IE network. Right now, a lot of it is on the Heaven Hollywood Experience, Heaven Hollywood Show, but we're going to start bringing you exclusive content as well from this show. Things that, because we're going to start doing other things like, reaction videos and stuff like that. Maybe do some breakdown stuff. So we'll bring some exclusive content as well. Or if we happen to go on location, we haven't done a lot of location this year. If we happen to go on location, then we can, maybe bring some of that content as exclusive content, which would be real cool. So thank you for joining and upgrading. That's what's up. So, but yeah, like I said, man,
I'm sorry.
James,
I'm sorry. Wait. Hold on a second.
Go ahead.
Joseph, I'm sorry, but Joseph, I'm sorry, but Darth Vader is the Star Wars villain. They ain't nobody else in is the villain that matters.
He's the villain.
He's the only one that matters.
Doris, thanks for joining.
Doris.
Appreciate you. I was trying. Yeah, Kev is on the way too, and he'll be here soon. But yeah, Darth, man, he is the. I mean, we do our list. Was he number one? Who was number one on the list?
No,
we all did different lists.
Bums didn't vote him.
No, I thought we all did different lists. Didn't you do your own?
Yeah,
list?
I know. I pretty much just said Vader is the greatest villain ever, but I was overridden. I forget who he said. I don't think it was Thanos. I think it was someone else. But I was like, I'm sorry. Can't anybody beat Vader? Thanos get his ass whipped by Vader. He really would. Even with the Infinity Stones, he still.
I don't know about that. Not with the Infinity Stones.
I do. Because Vader got to do is be in the area. He could stop him.
Yeah.
Hell, he all he got to do is crush the amulet on his hand, and that's the end of those Infinity Stones. That's the end of it.
Yeah, well, Darth Vader is the villain, though. He is the prime villain. You're right about that 100%. He is definitely the prime villain of this whole thing, of all. But I thought we had made separate lists, because I think I had the Joker up there because he's like that guy that just wants to see the world burn. Like, he's just evil to be evil. You know what I'm saying? Like, At least Darth
I think
Vader
Hannibal
has
left it
some
because he's
humanity. I think I didn't make Vader 1 because his humanity finally came out at the end, Return of the Jedi. So then he went back to Anakin, and you know, he went back, his humanity came out, and his went back to the light. That never happened. You've never seen the Joker do that ever. Joker's he's just evil. It's just evil.
No, I can sit to say yeah, you have. You did see that. I'm gonna give the Joker that credit. That in the Killing Joke, where Batman is basically saying, I want to help you. He's like, no.
Mm-hmm.
And he tells him that joke, right?
Mm-hmm.
He now he's there with Batman. He if he felt like it, he could have attacked Batman right then and there if he really wanted to. But he was like, no. And he's like this, he's like, no. And he tell him it's too late for me. Too late for me.
Johnny says, wouldn't Professor X be more powerful if he was a villain than Jean Grey because they can control minds and Jean can move things? Now Dark Phoenix is a whole nother thing. See, Vader have trouble with her. He'd have trouble with Phoenix, like the Dark Phoenix, Jean Grey, because she's not only a telepath, she's a telepath, which is, you know, obviously telepathy, like you can read minds, and she also has telekinesis. You know what I'm saying? Which means you can move things. That's the same as the Force. The Force is almost like telekinesis, right? You can move things, stuff like that. And then you can manipulate the Force to kind of read minds too, if you do it right. You know, if you know certain things you could do with the Force. I mean, that'd be a good battle. That'd be a good battle. Professor X, I mean, he just has telekinesis. What about Magneto? That would be nice too. Magneto would be a nice one, but I mean, he's.
I think Magneto.
Oh yeah, Magneto would crush. He'd crush the hell out of Vader. Everything that's metal on Vader would be crushed. He'd go like this, and the whole helmet would go in like this. Done.
Vader's but see, that's where I disagree because I think Vader's suit is hard plastic. I don't think it's metal.
Nah,
I think it's just shined up real good, but I think it's actually hard plastic.
He's got to have metal on there. He's
right.
He's part machine. You know, they say, oh, he's more machine now than ever. He definitely has metal.
In him. Obviously his
legs, his hands,
his legs,
his arms, and his legs. Yeah. So he comes to Magneto. Magneto rips his legs off, and he's done. Or rips his arms off, then he can't force choke him. So I don't know. That'd be tough because of everything that's metal.
No. I think he could still do that because he doesn't need his hand to do it. I think he could just use his mind.
He can still do the Force. Because he can do it with the mind. You just control it with your hand. You know, just use it to do more
with his hand.
But I mean, you know, I don't know. I think Magneto. I don't think he won it with Magneto. It's too much metal around him. You know, he got too much metal around him to want it with Magneto. Magneto will crush his entire ship and ball it up like a foil, like a piece of foil that you just took off the grill and throw into the garbage. So yeah, that's where Magneto advances. But
you just might.
Jean Grey is just a whole nother animal with her thing. But anyhow, that's a good question. That's cool. You got us debating here. She said Thanos will beat all of them.
No, Doris, I'm sorry.
She said Thanos will take all of them. Thanos is a bad MF though.
No,
let's be honest.
He could take him on.
I mean, he's a bad. I mean, because think about it. I mean, it would have to be. The only way, obviously, he'd have to use the Force.
He's not winning without the stones.
I mean, he'd still give a tough battle and stuff. Think about that last battle, an Endgame. He didn't have the stones, and that was the younger version of Thanos. He didn't even have the knowledge that he had fighting the Avengers from before. This was the Thanos before he even fought any of the Avengers, and he was beating their behinds. He was beating their butts, Thor included. You know what I mean? So, she said, "Who's this?" They said, "I am Yusuf." He said,
"Okay, folks, I don't know what's going on with this. Seems to be some problems."
Well, you got some problems on your end? Hmm? Yeah, it's something going on your end
I said
because I'm
it's
looking at the
like
feed. Yeah, because I'm looking at the feed on YouTube and I'm still going. Um, he says here the storm of the X-Men would insta kill them. That's funny. Um, well, I mean, I'm not gonna argue that only because Storm is very powerful. It's a very powerful mutant.
pretty
Once
badass.
once they bring her in, and she when she comes into the MCU, we're really gonna see how powerful Storm is. Like the Storm when Halle Berry played her and all that stuff from the Fox movies, that's nothing. That's nothing. Like Storm is she's a high level mutant as far as her powers go. So she's a bad what as well. What do they say here? The wizard guy from
I
Marvel.
don't know. I don't know who this wizard guy is.
Who's the wizard guy? You talking about Doctor Strange? That must be who he's talking about.
Oh, really?
Gave a fight too because he could use the spirit to fight in the spirit world. Yeah, he's talking about Doctor Strange. Yeah. Vader ain't ready for that. He would need to call Jesus. Go ahead,
I don't know about that one. I don't know about Doctor Strange. I think Vader could stop
Doctor Strange would. I know Doctor Strange. What he's saying is, remember, Doctor Strange can astral project himself. So that's what he's talking about. He can go into his astral form and still be, a formidable opponent. Plus, he has this time stone. Well, he doesn't have it now. They gave it back. He got rid of it. He didn't have it. He didn't have it in the Multiverse of Madness. But I mean, remember, the Force is kind of like magic. Did anyone ever see that Batman versus Darth Vader fan film?
Yeah.
That was fire. Batman was like, let's test your magic versus my science. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, Batman is that dude. I don't care what he is, who he is.
All right, Batman was getting his ass. Batman was getting his ass kicked.
And then he called Superman.
He had to get Superman to beat him. He had to get Superman to beat him.
Yeah. But that's funny because Superman and Vader should be a decent fight because the Force considered magic? If it's considered magic, then it can affect Superman.
And Superman's vulnerable to. Yeah.
He's vulnerable to magic. Yeah. So he said Doctor Strange couldn't take Thanos. That's what. But Doris, she's sticking with Thanos. Man. She's like Doctor Strange couldn't take Thanos. Well, it does.
I agree with that. I don't think Doctor Strange.
Johnny does spark the debate up in here. He said, "Oh, and Professor X could use his mind after death as well." Oh yeah, remember when Jean obliterated him? X3. Yep. I remember that. His soul came back. Yeah, I mean, Professor X is one of the most. Once again, he's one of the most powerful mutants. He's right up there, that high level 5 or whatever. Jean Grey is an omega level mutant. She's she's a planet killer. Like when she becomes the Phoenix Force, she's literally a planet killer. So she can do what Thanos was doing with the damn with the Infinity Gauntlet. She can literally obliterate worlds if when she has the Phoenix Force. Let's take the Phoenix Force out of her. She's still an omega level mutant. So that's just a little hard. That's a little more work than Vader wants. Now Vader had Luke with him. See, then now we got even the playing field a little bit, So, but yeah, I definitely think that's funny. You sparked the debate up here. He said even Captain Marvel couldn't take Thanos. Yeah, but they kind of dumbed that down a little bit, Doris. Captain Marvel, I think, can take Thanos if they really pulled out her, true power. But they had her, and actually the funny thing is they never really their fight was so quick. They never really thumped it out. They didn't thump it out. and then we lost Ralph for a second. Um, she had a quick fight with him. He did a little something with the Infinity Stone and threw her out of the picture just long enough for him to get the, or at least he think that he got the stones and he did get them. He tried to snap, but then Tony Stark came in there and took the stones. But I think blow for blow, especially if she goes binary and real powerful, she might be able to take Thanos. Because remember, Doris, remember when Thanos tried to headbutt her? It did nothing. It did nothing whatsoever. He headbutted her and she looked at him like he was crazy. And he had to use a stone to kind of blast her out of the picture just long enough just to buy him some time so he can try to snap. And of course, yes, the Scarlet Witch could take Thanos, of course. Scarlet Witch was about to end Thanos if he didn't do what he did when he said rain, fire. She was about to end him. So, I mean, it's just that plain and simple. She hadn't come into her true power. She hadn't come into the true power of her powers yet.
Folks, I don't know what's going on today. It seems to be some sort of mess or something going on today.
Yeah, it's got to be something with the with your either, I don't know if you're using Wi-Fi or if you're using Ethernet. But I tend to use Ethernet when I'm on the air with StreamYard, because StreamYard has a lot of issues with Wi-Fi sometimes. So I like to use Ethernet to make sure, the connection is better. But Doris brought up the Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch, we have to put her in a box somewhere. Scarlet Witch is a cheat code. She could damn near kill everybody. So I don't know if we can count the Scarlet Witch. She's obviously an Omega level mutant. She is all powerful, and like we said, she was about to end Thanos. Right there in Endgame. It was about to be the end game for Thanos before he said rain, fire, and kind of like, messed up her concentration. Everybody, don't forget to do the poll, especially if you came in on the YouTube side of things. You might see a poll up top where the poll reads, are you supporting Black Panther 2 Wakanda Forever or nah? The reason why I asked that is because recently, like we said, and we're getting into the trending topics. So recently, Kevin Feige came out again and he said he did an interview why he did not recast T'Challa. Now, since it was announced that they were not going to recast T'Challa, the character of T'Challa, obviously after Chadwick Boseman's death, and for this film, it's just been an uproar. It's been a super uproar since then, with a lot of fans that were just going crazy, saying, I don't want to, you should recast him and this, that, and the other. Now, these people have explained multiple times why they haven't recast T'Challa. They have also explained, they understood, what's her name? Letitia Wright. Thank you, Doris. Right. It's too soon to recast T'Challa. I agree. As Kev comes in, Letitia Wright did an interview. Welcome back, Kev.
Mm-hmm.
Letitia Wright did an interview recently, and that question was asked to her. That's going to be a question that they're all going to have an answer for, because every time they do press runs and stuff like that, someone's going to ask, especially if it's from a fan, someone's going to ask that question. So the fact that people are asking that, she answered it, and I'm just paraphrasing, and she basically said while we definitely appreciate that question, we appreciate the fans' feelings and the love for the character, and we, it was a tough decision but it's a decision that was made by Ryan, and stuff like that. So she's like, we felt like the thing is, she basically said, and like I said, I'm paraphrasing. She basically said in a nutshell, we love you fans, and that's we understand how you feel, but at the same time, you have to try to understand how they feel. Okay, we didn't know
Exactly.
Chadwick Boseman. We did not know Chadwick Boseman. We were not friends with Chadwick Boseman. We were not co-workers with Chadwick Boseman. So the fact of the matter that when he left this plane and you know transitioned, it was a shock for everyone, including his peers and his friends. Okay,
His
so
family.
now his family, but his close family knew that he was gonna die, but a lot of people didn't know. Right? It was the rug being pulled out from us. If we felt that way, imagine how the people that knew him felt. And of course, it's natural for us, meaning the fans, not me. I don't feel that way. I don't feel this way, but it's natural for fans to say, well, let's move on. Let's recast. And they have every excuse in the book. Well, we recast Superman after Christopher Reeves died, and well, it's just like, or well, he couldn't do the role no more. You know how long it took to recast Superman after Christopher Reeves was no longer able to
Exactly.
play Superman? It took over 10 years. Maybe what? It took what? 10,
13
15
years.
years? 13 years.
13 years.
13 years to recast Superman. Okay?
No, I'm sorry. No, I take
Longer
that
than
back.
that.
No, it took almost 20 years.
Almost 20
to recast
years.
him.
Almost 20 years to recast Superman from Christopher Reeves. And I'm talking about in the movies because we've had shows between there. But from Christopher Reeve to Brandon Routh. That was the first recasting in a movie of Superman. That was about 20 years later. Okay. Everyone's, I'm hearing so much nonsense. I'm hearing it's agenda based and it's conspiracies and they're trying to, keep the black man down. And I'm just like, what? There is so much stuff. It's ridiculous. Kevin Feige said, and I will tell you this again, stop believing what you think you heard. Like I said, the Mandela Effect. Stop believing what you think you heard. Kevin Feige has never said he will never recast the role of T'Challa. He said he's not recasting the role for this movie. I don't know how many times we have to say this. So now the people who have a problem with him being, and I'm in film groups. Shout out to the film groups that I'm in on Facebook, Black Films Rock, and all different ones. And I have conversations with different people all the time in the film groups. And I see it all the time. Someone put up there, I'm not gonna, call them out name wise, but they said, oh yeah, I'm not supporting it. It's agenda based. How will you know? First of all, you know the plot, because I don't know the plot. Ralph, you know the plot? I don't know the plot.
Not really.
Kev, you know the plot?
What agenda?
They're just back in Wakanda. That's all I know. It's in Wakanda. That's it. That's it.
It's called
That's all I
Wakanda
know.
Forever. I don't know anything about a plot leak, so how would you even think or know that it's agenda based? And what agenda are we talking about now?
I'll tell you what agenda they're talking about. They're talking about the women's power movement because Shuri is going to be Black Panther.
Here's my question. But here's the question I got. Let's wait a minute. Let's look on the flip side of this coin for a second. Let's just sit there and say that all you fans out there that wanted T'Challa recast, Okay. Who would you actually have gotten to recast him right now that could give the same level of performance that Chadwick Boseman did, same youth, same energy, everything. Right this second, I'll be honest with you, there's not too many guys out there like that one. That you're just gonna say, oh, he's go because who?
What did he say?
Right, because I didn't hear Kev, who would you say?
I said there's only about 5 at the most.
Maybe, but the thing is, I don't care. There are some excellent actors out there, but it doesn't matter. Any actor that you pick right now would never get a fair shake at that role.
You said
never.
Nope, you setting
Never,
them up for failure right off the
never.
bat.
Let's go. Let's come on, people. Come on, black folk. We know how we are. We know how we can be. We know how judgmental you can be. And the first thing you're gonna say is, "You ain't Chadwick."
He ain't Chadwick. He
That's
ain't
the
Chadwick.
first thing you'll say. Any man, I don't care who it is, would be cast right now to replace Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa. That poor SOB would not have a chance. I feel bad for him. And guess what? Kevin Feige knows better. He's not trying to put himself in that position or put put Ryan Coogler in that position. So Johnny says, I don't know why people are boycotting. They announced that they weren't reprising T'Challa a long time before Chadwick passed away. Well, because I think to elaborate on what he's saying is, the thing is not that they were just gonna recast him. The thing is, what's his name? Ryan Coogler had a plan. He has always had a plan. He's always had a plan to go to do the Shuri storyline, right? Just not this soon. And it's not confirmed that he's doing the Shuri storyline this time. He might be doing a mixture of it.
I think he
is. I think he's doing
a
modified version of it. I think that's what it is. I think he's doing a modified version of the Shuri storyline and tie it in somehow. But the thing is, once again, to get back to what we were originally saying, Kevin Feige explained again, hey, we wanted to properly give him the respect due, and we wanted to honor him. He kept using the word honor. We wanted to honor him, in the way that we, how we feel, right? Give him a great send off, whatever you want to call it. I got people in chat rooms or in these message boards talking like they part of Chadwick Boseman's family or something. The family, they even said that, he would want the role to go on and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, where'd you hear this? You know the family? You got some insight?
Exactly.
If so, come up on the show and tell me. Now, don't just tell us anything. You don't know who you're talking to. You're talking to the Jedi Council. So don't come up here with no BS if you ain't got no receipts, because we will find out you lying if you're lying. So, don't come to us. I invite you. If you have some information that we don't have, the Chadwick Boseman's family wants the MCU to continue with the character, and we get the scoop, I love it. But don't bring no BS in here and don't lie, because if you ain't got no receipts, we'll find out.
Listen, have your shit in order.
Right. Have it all lined up. But even with that being said, do you really think Chadwick Boseman's family would have a problem with them doing what they're doing with this film and honoring him? Of course not. They don't run Marvel. It's the bottom line. As a matter of fact, doing this keeps Chadwick's spirit alive, at least for this moment. If it's just like the way everyone is suggesting, let's just forget about him and move
still
on.
in the movie. He's still in the movie.
So it's just like I just
no, I'm
don't.
saying he's still
I don't
in the
understand
movie.
why people are. I don't understand why people are going so gung ho with this. So that's why I put the poll up. If you're going to support the movie, then support it and shut up. And if you're not gonna support the movie, then don't support it and shut up. Because the bottom line is this, people, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but check me out. The movie is done. It has been shot. And guess what? T'Challa is dead.
2 months.
And yeah, we will find out in 2 months exactly what's happening. But the movie's over. It's not over. It's shot. It's done.
Wait a minute, I got,
so stop belly aching.
I got a question. Go
ahead.
All right, I have a question. Once again, I'm speaking to all you out there that are saying about this particular subject. How would you have felt if Chadwick Boseman didn't die, but he said, I don't want to do the role again, and they had to recast him?
Right.
Aren't we basically talking about the exact same thing, just different type of scenarios? You have the man, the person that originally played the role said, I don't want to come back to do the role again. What are they going to do? Right. They're going to either recast them or not use them, and then take longer to find someone that's going to be a fit into their universe. They're not trying to, and I hate to say put it like this, but I think it has to be said for some time, you comic book fans, and this one is to you comic book fans. These studios are not trying to appease you. They're doing what they feel is the best for their franchise, right? I'm sure all of us could sit and say, "Oh man, instead of this person playing this role, I would have had this person." That might sound like the real sexy popular look, but does that person fit into what the studio wants to project or how they see their franchise going? Probably not.
I think you preaching to the choir. I think you're preaching to the choir on that one, Ralph, because I know almost every comic book fan that I know, including myself, we didn't have a problem with this, the way this is going. Because number one, we know that there's been times that T'Challa did not exist. You know, I mean, there's times that Shuri took over in the comic book. So we ain't have a problem with it.
That's not what I'm talking. What I'm talking about is that a lot of times the comic fans say, well, this is the person that should play this role. I'm not talking about specifically this role of Black Panther. I'm talking about any comic book fan and any comic book character. Well, this is the like now you have all the people sitting here saying John Krasinski should play Reed Richards, right? That's the sexy pick for him. He's the sexy pick to play Reed Richards. Okay. Then you got what you wanted because he's in Doctor Strange as Reed Richards. But when they come out to do the redo of Fantastic Four, there's a strong possibility that Krasinski is not going to be Reed Richards. Yeah. So what are you guys going to do then? Are you going to boycott yourself from the Fantastic Four reboot because the choice that you wanted, that you felt was the right person, the right role, the right main thing, Marvel said to say, you know what? He doesn't fit into our overall look of what we think we want the character. You know, we put it someone else that may not have a big name as John Krasinski, that may not have whatever.
Right. I don't think that's going to be an issue either because right. But the people on this situation with Black Panther, Ralph, it's more so the casual fan, the non-comic fans that are making all the complaints. Because number one, they don't even know the stories. They don't know that about this Shuri story and stuff like that. They just heard about it because people were putting it out there. But they're going on. You know, half of these people that are complaining are the same people that probably didn't even see Civil War. They probably just went to Black Panther because why? Because Black Panther was the thing to go to. It was the big thing. It was the trend. Everybody was going there and they're dressing in dashikis and they're coming out and they're doing all these African dances, and it became a spectacle, as our people do so often, do too much, so to speak, or do the most, we'll say. So those are the people that are saying, because they're the ones talking about anyone who's mentioning about agenda-based, that is not a comic book fan doing that. There's no way That is not
No.
a comic book fan that's mentioning anything about agenda based and why do they recast Batman, they recast Superman, they recast all these other characters. Why not recast this? That is not comic book fans, bro. That's doing that because we know that, number one, we know that that's how these things go. And number two, they're replacing where you're going to get a complaint from a comic fan is if they were doing something like a story that just is completely made up or butchered or butchered a character's background.
Like the first Fox X-Men.
Right, like the first Fox X-Men, right? So that's where you'll hear a complaint from a comic book fan. You're not gonna hear a complaint from a comic book fan for something like a recasting or something like that because everyone has their own, the fan castings, everyone has their own opinions on who should be cast as who should be cast as whatever. But something like this, these are the people that aren't even really, I won't even say, we already know they're not comic book fans. I won't even say they're true fans of the MCU. A lot of them.
What I was really talking about is not specific to comic books. I'm just talking about overall because I remember.
I know what you said, but you kind of like directed that to comic book fans, and I just think that was directed in the wrong way.
No. What I'm saying is this is that statement was about the comic book fans. But I'm talking about to people in general that are the occasional movie watchers. This is the same thing that happened years ago when Daniel Craig took the role of James Bond. People were all up here and said, no, he can't be James Bond. He's got blonde hair.
Right.
He's got blonde hair. But now
I remember them even saying James Blonde. They were calling him James Blonde and
James
stuff like
Blonde.
that.
But
I remember
now
that and look at it now. Exactly. But the bottom line is, and I'll let Kev speak in a second. The bottom line is, these fans, they are the fly-by-night fans that just came on board probably right at Black Panther. And maybe they saw Civil War after they heard Black Panther was in it. They went out and saw it, or whatever. But these are just people that they can't sit down and tell you anything really about the story. People say, oh yeah, Namor. You don't know nothing about Namor. And you're gonna, instead of trying to learn about them, and instead of that, you just want to speculate about it. So the people that are saying it's agenda based, those are just people that love to stir the pot.
But who said that? Where did that even?
Well, this was said. I told you this was someone in one of the film groups that I'm in. Who said it? Because I asked the question like I asked at the poll, and once again, everybody do the poll. But the poll says, are you supporting Wakanda Forever or no? And when I asked that question in the film group, someone answered and said they are not supporting it. The film is agenda based and Namor is trash. I don't know what he meant by that. I'm like, Namor is trash. You mean the character? You have no idea what you're talking about.
They have no idea. No idea.
So that tells me right there, you have no idea of the history of these characters.
First of all, Namor is trash, and then on top of all of that, let's. So now what you're saying is because they changed Namor's origin and made it more Aztec, or made it Aztec, not more Aztec. They made it Aztec instead of it being Atlantis. They made it Aztec. Yeah. So what you're saying is that the Aztecs were garbage.
And by the way, I want to throw that out there, especially for you, Ralph. By the way, that change is a big change. No complaints from the comic fans, not from my end. No complaints from comic fans. That's a big change in the origin. No, it's not yet. No, it doesn't have to be not yet. It's a change in the origin. You know that already. You see, this is where you're disconnected because there is no not yet, because we already know the origin. So if there's a change, you know it already. So if you're going to complain, now's the time to complain. You're not going to complain in the movie because you're going to go see it.
Well, no. See, the reason I put the words "not yet" there is because for a large part, I mean, they have played the trailer hasn't played. right? But we are now. You're hearing all these more complaints about Wakanda, Chadwick Boseman, because
we lost your connection, Ralph.
Good.
So you're gonna have to repeat
what
what you said.
Oh, what I said was the reason why I put the words "not yet" is Wakanda Forever is only 2 months away. So now you're getting more of this stuff.
1 month away.
Whereas the next,
it's only 1 month away, actually. Yeah, right.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
November.
one
yeah,
month,
yeah, well,
right?
A little over a month, but anyway, go ahead.
Well, yeah. But what I'm saying is now, as you get closer to the next Aquaman movie, not Aquaman. What is it? It is Aquaman, right?
Aquaman, yeah.
It is okay. So as you get closer to the next Aquaman movie, when it's getting closer to release, maybe you do start hearing that, and that's just a hypothesis. That's not saying that's concrete. It's just a thought. Perhaps you do start hearing that a little bit more.
If you're gonna hear complaints, it would be already from now, because they've already changed that. They even changed. They're not even calling his home Atlantis. They're calling it something else. They completely changed that for the reasons of, number one, Aquaman. They don't want to get anything confused with that. So they kind of rebuilt an origin there. I mean, any comic book fan with half a sense understands that things are going to get changed for them to make better sense, or for it to work, or what they think is going to work. But the bottom line is, that change, that's a major change. And they're not calling it Atlantis. It changes origin. Okay, it is what it is. We know that's just like there's major. We knew that sometimes constraints, you have to spark creativity, right, and change things. Civil War is damn near nothing like the Civil War from the comics. It is, but it isn't. But they had to do it that way because at that time they didn't own the Fox properties, and those characters were heavily involved in the original Civil War storyline. So, it's nothing to bellyache about. They still brought us a good movie, right? So if the movie's trash, then everybody's going to complain. But that, so getting back to
then that's a different story.
Right. That's all. If the movie's trash, then everyone's going to complain, comic and non-comic fans. But the bottom line is this. Getting back to the Chadwick Boseman thing. It's time. I'm throwing down the gauntlet right now. And anybody want to challenge me, you're very welcome to come up on this platform and challenge me. It's time to let this go. You either supporting or you're not. And whichever one you're doing, shut the F up. Because I'm tired of hearing the belly aching about hey, they should. It was a bad decision. It was a bad decision. Okay, so then don't go see the film. Because guess what? The film's still gonna do well. Because no matter what, I bring it back again. There are not just comic fans, but people that are fans of. There's people that are fans of the genre, and not per se was comic book collectors, but they're fans of superhero films. They're fans of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They are going, and then you tack on the comic book fans. They're going to take care of this movie. The movie's still going to do well. So the people who got a problem with it because they think it's agenda based or whatever the hell they think it is, the people that are intimidated by, and Kevin mentioned it earlier, intimidated by a woman, woman power thing, which first of all is stupid, because it's like you're okay with the Dora Milaje being all women, which they are, long as there's a man leading the country. But if that's,
isn't it?
Right, exactly,
isn't it?
Here's the thing with that. The thing with that is what people need to start to let go of is the fact we're not in caveman days anymore. We're not in a time where we're technologically advanced now, where everybody's on an equal playing field. And I forget this gentleman's name, but he put it so perfectly. He said, men and their masculinity, they need to get over themselves. Masculinity does not change. The only thing that changes is you have the women down here at the bottom when they were always equal, they were always the backbone of everything. If you want to keep it a buck, when men failed, it was women in their ear like, "Yo, you need to go on," or manipulating shit. But the bottom line is that we're in an age where everything is equal now. There's a man's strength or a man being stronger than a woman doesn't mean shit anymore. Unless you're in a physical fight, which makes no sense.
I mean, it really, people being intimidated by this is just dumb. And like I said before, because this is a storyline that, it's a storyline that, number one, that people that really existed. It's a storyline he's pulling from a storyline that really exists. He's not just making anything up out the air. He's not trying to overcompensate, putting these women. I mean, there's only, I mean, like I said, majority of the women in Wakanda are warriors and guards and whatever they are. That's what they are.
They're trained to do that.
They're trained to do it. So what else is there? What else you gonna complain about? More complaints. Like, I'm sick and tired of it. I don't want to hear it no more. I don't care if you don't want to support the film. Great. Don't support it. Don't go.
I understand. If you don't want to support something, why can't you just be quiet and live?
Just let it. That's it. I ain't support. I asked the question. You can answer it. I answered the poll. I mean, I put the poll up. You say no. I'm not supporting it. Cool. Go with God. Same thing. If you're gonna support it, great. Go with God. That's all I could say. It's time to let this go. It's not changing. The film is done, and like I said before, you guys, I foreshadowed this months ago, maybe over a year ago, since Chadwick's death. I told everyone, why are we worrying about this? Kevin Feige, who, if it don't come out of his mouth, why you believe in it? If someone else says, yeah, they're never gonna cast T'Challa again, they're just gonna move on from that character, and everybody's upset. Did Kevin Feige say that? No, but Joe Smo, the producer, said it. He works at Disney. You think I care about that? It didn't come from. Yeah, he could be the janitor at Disney. Someone who works in customer service. Saying, oh yeah, yeah, I heard they never recasted T'Challa. Hi, welcome to Disney. How may I help you? You know what I'm saying? They're saying that in between calls.
Would you like fries with your Mickey Mouse burger?
Yeah, you like fries with your Mickey Mouse burger. Oh,
would you like some Donald Duck fries?
By the way, they're never gonna recast T'Challa. Like, come on, where is this coming from? You sound ridiculous. And do your research. Just like I said, I'm not gonna tell you don't have to pick up a comic book. Not even anymore. It's out there in the internet. Just do your research on these characters. Do your research on the stories. This is gonna be an epic story. This is gonna be Ryan Coogler is going to put his foot in this damn thing. I'm telling you, he's going to do his thing. He's an excellent filmmaker. He's an excellent storyteller, and he's a friend. He was a friend of Chadwick Boseman. So let's stop being selfish here and have a little humanity. Show a little humanity here. We've all lost loved ones in our time. If you're a certain age, you've definitely at least lost one loved one to death, whether it's a friend or family member. Have a little humanity. These people want to honor their friend, or as Letitia calls him, their big bro. Okay? So let them do what they do and support it. Why would you not support it? Why would you not support this?
Don't support the Woman King.
Yeah.
They're making up every excuse on the planet.
Right. We said that last week before we ended the show. Ralph said it. We said it. Ralph said it. He made a perfect point. He said, for nothing else, some of the accolades and some of the milestones that they went through making this film with, some of the milestones, stuff like that, support it for that, if nothing else. unless you just really have no reason to go, whatever. But he even when he said that, support. He said support that. You got. I mean, you don't have to support Black Panther. That's up to you. But you're gonna make up a stupid excuse and say it's agenda based when you have no idea what the script or the storyline is.
know what that means.
I don't know what that means. Like I said, it must mean because, like you said, they added the Aztec factor. Um, they add, I guess because the women are at the forefront. When they were at the forefront anyway, even in Black Panther, they were still at the forefront of battles, things like that. It's just that Black Panther was there as well. He was the main character, and Killmonger. But also now that the story revolves around the women, it's agenda based in a country that's full of women that pretty much run the country anyway.
Not only that, not only that, but here's the thing that people keep forgetting or don't even pay attention to, which I don't understand why they don't. The fact that when Ryan Coogler said before he even started writing the script, he already had the idea of this being, I don't want to say heavily female based, but the strong, just like with Tyler Perry, it's the strongest thing in his life was a female presence. So that's going to come out in his writing. It's going to show in his film. It's because it was there and because it was a part.
Like I said before, before he even knew Chadwick Boseman was sick or anyone else for that matter, he had a plan laid out for at least 3 movies, and that would have been. We don't know what they were going to do with the second movie. They may have introduced him meeting Storm, maybe in the second movie, but originally he was going to go away and do the not go away from it, but do the Shuri storyline where T'Challa gets and bring in Namor. That was always the plan. Where T'Challa gets in the original storyline where T'Challa ends up in a coma. That time that Shuri takes the mantle, T'Challa is in a coma, actually caused by Namor. Namor was involved in that story, so that's pretty much where he was gonna go, and then that's really just like the comic run of it. It's temporary, you know what I mean? So, they were gonna do that anyway. It just probably he probably just had to speed up his timeline, maybe dig into something. Maybe what I think, and this is pure speculation, I believe that he's gonna take that storyline, and then he obviously made some modifications and some of his own stuff because he modified. We already know he modified Namor. He modified certain things you just have to do. It wouldn't be in their best interest to put this thing out in Namor, even though in the comics they are, but they say that Namor's from Atlantis. Aquaman is right around the corner too, and they don't want people being confused. You know what I'm saying? So you have to change that. It's just like they didn't own the rights to adamantium, so they were going with vibranium. Vibranium exists anyway, and it's like whatever, but they just never said adamantium because they didn't own the rights to it, right?
And technically, adamantium and vibranium are 2 different metals.
Yeah, they are 2 different metals, and I remember reading something where one could be forged from the other or something like that because vibranium is alien. Vibranium's alien. It came from space. You know what I'm saying? Vibranium is basically alien technology. It's from space originally. So, but that's a whole nother story. Like I said, to wrap that up, pipe down, people. I'm tired of it. You're either supporting or you're not. Pick a side. You're supporting it or you're not. Now, what's going to happen is those same people that are saying that garbage and saying they're not going to support it, when it's at 300 million at the box office, they're going to say, "Oh, I'm going to go see this." when everybody's talking about everybody doing this, coming out of the theaters, and they talking about how great the film was, blah 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 blah. Y'all gonna be the same people trekking your butt to the theaters to see the film.
No, you mean trying to go to the theaters because they ain't gonna have no seats to get. They're gonna be like,
So that's exactly what's gonna happen. Word of mouth, or the first wave of people that's gonna go see it. They're gonna come back. It's an excellent movie. They're gonna talk about it. You're gonna have some. You definitely gonna have some trolls. And there's gonna be. I think there'll be a few review bombers on this. That's because they still butthurt of not recasting T'Challa. So they're gonna go in there with the negative mindset and be like, this movie is blah 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 blah. Just go, and if you're gonna support the film, support it. Go with a clear mind. And,
well, I'll tell you this
watch
much.
it.
I'll
No
tell you this
expectation.
much. When those tickets go on sale, if you live in New York or you live anywhere near me, you better make sure you got your tickets because I'm definitely sitting in like I did the first time, back to back, one after the other. As soon as I walk out, as soon as one is done, I'm walking into another one. And if I can get 3 off, I'm gonna get 3 off because I want to be able to get the full scope.
Yeah, Johnny says the people talking about they're not going to see it are the same people that are probably pre-ordering their tickets and went to the dollar stores to sneak some candy in the theater. Yeah, a lot of these people. That's a good point, Johnny, because a lot of these people are also just clout chasers. A lot of them are clout chasers. They just want to step on a soapbox and try to act like they're halfway intelligent by saying, yes, because the white man this and the black man this, and talk all this garbage when your behind is going to be right there watching the movie. Maybe just to troll it, maybe just to give it a bad review, but you're still going to support it at the end of the day. So that's my rant on that. I'm sick and tired of it. But we're going to move on to the next topic, which we'll get into our second round of our tournament. For like we said, as far as the Darth Vader thing, James Earl Jones, you missed a good one, Kev. Someone sparked. I think it might have been Johnny who started it. He put something in the room, and he's like, "Oh, what is so and so and Darth Vader? That'd be a good fight." And then it's like everybody just started talking about all different people fighting Darth Vader. But anyway, James Earl Jones has signed over his rights to his voice, so now they can digitally reproduce his voice as Darth Vader. I'm sure he's gonna have to. Yeah, I'm sure it's a great check. And you know what? I ain't mad at him. He do what he got to do. It's not like they haven't started doing that anyway. Because like we said, there are different types of Vader voices if you watch all the different shows and movies from, they all sound like James Earl Jones to a degree, but they're all a little bit different too. So, obviously they've been had the technology to reproduce it because they sell masks. They sell actual masks that you can talk through it and sound like James Earl Jones. So that's on a consumer level. So on a professional level, you already know what it is. So we want to say thank you so much to James Earl Jones for all, that you contributed to this character and to this whole universe. Your character, your voice, and your character is the center of the Star Wars universe. It literally is. That character is the reason why Star Wars exists.
Listen,
let's be honest.
You know what? I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
Right.
So, black excellence. That's all I'll say about it.
Right. So he's going out, and he's going out in his own way. He, not going out, but you know what I'm saying. In this aspect, he's doing it my way. He's doing it his way, and that's what's up, man. He's like, I want to enjoy the fruits of my labor. You know what I'm saying? They probably gave him a fat check too. Woo.
Mm-hmm.
That check is probably super fat. boy.
He's probably getting residuals. That's gonna
That's what I'm
last.
saying. I'm sure he's gonna go through his. He's gonna probably have residuals that's gonna go through generations of his family. But I'm sure
Exactly.
the check that they
Oh,
signed over to
please.
him. Yeah, exactly. And sure, I'm sure the checks they signed over to him up front, because you know he got some upfront money too, plus residuals.
Yep.
And they're gonna take care of him. They I know they're gonna take care of him. So there you have it. That's crazy. Yo, I want to say something before we get into the tournament. So I just came across the wire kind of late. So the Dahmer series is on Netflix right now. And I'm not gonna say much about it because I know a lot of people haven't seen it yet, so no spoilers. I do want to say just creatively, it's very well written and very well acted as well. I know Molly Ringwald plays a character in here. I didn't even recognize her, yo. She put like like the way they got her because it's a period piece pretty much because they're going back and showing stuff. So the way they got her dressed and the way she looks, plus she's older now. I'm like, I'm listening to her voice and I'm like, I can't place her voice. I'm like, who is this? I know that voice, and I'm like, I'm listening, and I'm looking. I literally got like way up on the screen, and I'm looking, and I'm like, that's freaking Molly Ringwald. I'm like, holy crap. Yeah, he said, what show is this on Netflix? It's called Dahmer Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer stories or whatever it's called. It's called Dahmer. It's about the serial killer from Milwaukee, cannibal serial killer, Jeffrey Dahmer, who oh wait a minute, see what I'm saying? I said serial killer and freaking Siri comes up. I'm like, what? Siri about to be like, I don't understand. But anyway, Dahmer is, Jeffrey Dahmer is a serial killer / cannibal from Milwaukee who had a reign of killings in the double digits. I don't remember how much it was, but this man was killing for 10 years. He never got caught in 10 years and hiding in plain sight. And because of the times and the way things was back then, he was actually being enabled by people, not knowing that he's a serial killer. But the bottom line is because he's a white American, he was being enabled in certain situations because he did a lot. He moved into and this is all public knowledge. This has nothing to do with ruining the film or the show. If you just look it up, you can find out. He moved into a neighborhood. The neighborhood that he actually finally got caught in was predominantly black, and there was a lot of black homosexuals in that area. He also was homosexual. At least he thought he was, or he was, I guess. And he, would pick these men up at nightclubs, at bars, and at bathhouses and stuff like that. And obviously, he would kill them. And not only would he kill them, he would dismember their body parts. He would eat them. Some of them, not all of them. He'd take body parts and take pieces of them and eat them. And that's what he do. And that was Dahmer. That has been the story that everybody knows. Now, what they're doing here, this series is produced and written, showrun by Ryan Murphy. Now, he's an excellent writer. Now, you know that he originally did Glee, and they did the Scream Queens. I know he's written some things for American Horror Story, stuff like that. Ryan Murphy has done he's a good writer. Very good writer, very good storyteller. He's really tackling a lot of because this does deal with a lot of homosexual situations. He is homosexual himself, Ryan Murphy, so he's very versed on writing that, for that type of situation. So you're gonna get, he's bringing it. He's bringing it in this series.
It's
You
great.
know,
Dave Chappelle is going to have a field day with this.
nah, I know, right? Well, Dave Chappelle, you know, that's just Dave Chappelle. He's gonna have a field day with everything. But this is real. This is real stuff. And what he did differently, I mean, we all know by reading and researching, right? And if you were alive during those times, you remember hearing about him on the news. But what Ryan Murphy did was he gave you a perspective of he gave you some background on Dahmer, a perspective of from him when he was a child, and he also gave you perspective of certain select victims, which is something that I don't believe I remember ever seeing happen. The way he's doing that, it's like, oh, you're in the middle of a Jeffrey Dahmer series, and here's some background on a child that grows up to be one of his victims. You know what I mean? And not only did Jeffrey Dahmer kill men, he killed boys. Like he killed underage boys. He would pick them up just like they were, you know, homosexuals. He would pick them up like any other person, probably lure them with something else, sometimes with money because he claimed he was a photographer. So he'd be like, "Oh, I want to take pictures of you," and he offered him money. I'll give you $50. And this is way back then. You know, I gave you $50 to come take some pictures for me. Oh, what type of picture? They like nude or whatever. You just take your shirt off, maybe blah blah blah. He'd coach them into doing it, and they would become one of his victims, unfortunately. And not only the series shows you, like I said, he managed to get away with it for 10 years because he wasn't constantly killing 10 years straight. He was taking breaks, and there was even times that people got away from him and didn't get killed and tried to get him arrested, and he would not get arrested. Or he'd get arrested, but then they let him go.
Go home, make a bologna sandwich. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's literally and I read about this too. I didn't read the detail of it, but they portrayed it on the show where, you know, a judge literally just lets him go. Like literally says in there that he's given. Well, he doesn't let him go. Let me get wrong. He reads his thing to him. He's convicted sex offender, but he's like, you know, you kind of remind me of my grandson. You know, I really think I want to give you a second chance. You know, and you know, just that and the other. We'll put you in a work program. You can work. So you're gonna be in jail, but you can go out every day to go to work up to 40 hours a week. You'll put you in a work program. We're gonna rehabilitate you because you deserve a second chance. Why?
that work release program. My Uncle Bobby was on there for selling drugs. They put him. I don't know how he got on there, but he was on work. He was on work release for like 2 years.
Yeah.
He come home. He have to go in for the he work for the week, and then on the weekends when he wasn't working, he had to go get locked up for the weekend, and then he'd be back out.
He'd be back out and go work, and then stay there for the week. So I mean, regardless, check it out. But there was an article that dropped late before we started the show where allegedly a sister of a Jeffrey Dahmer victim speaks out about the Netflix series. And they have a quote here from her that says, "It's sad that they're just making money off of this tragedy." Now, I think what you really mean is it's sad that you're not making money off this tragedy. And not to be insensitive to you. If you were the sister of a victim, I understand your frustration. You know, but there's been plenty of things, documentaries. This is not the first time Jeffrey Dahmer's ever been talked about on television. There's documentaries out there.
Exactly.
There's I think they've done TV movies. There's other visual works of Jeffrey Dahmer and his crimes. This is just their version or deep dive or whatever. So I don't know. I'm not going to speak bad against this person because, like I said, they're a sibling of one of his victims. So I understand any of this bringing this. We talked about this off air, Kev. You know, the reliving this and the pain that all of these victims or victims' families may go through whenever something, not just this series. I'm not trying to point a finger at this series. It really means whenever they talk about Jeffrey Dahmer, whenever they do documentaries on him, whenever and Netflix on October 7th, Netflix is going to be releasing a documentary called the confession tapes or whatever. Like, because basically Jeffrey Dahmer confessed after he finally got arrested. He confessed to all his murders. He told them where to find the bodies or the remains, whatever. This is all public record, people. You can look it up. And now the confession tapes are gonna be on Netflix. So they're waiting to put that out because they probably want to give people time to see the series. And they're gonna put that out. That goes live on Netflix October 7th. So
here's the problem with this, and it's not a problem, and it just shows the humanity, the level of humanity that we have. Like there are some stories that just like this that should just be forgotten, like they used to do pre-biblical times. When they came and attacked you, they wiped your name off the record. The Egyptians did it, the Arabs did it. When they came and attacked you, they wiped your name was erased from the annals of time. I don't understand, and I'm obviously I'm going to watch it because it's, people are saying so.
No, it's very just from a standpoint of the way it was handled, the way it's approached. It's very well done. And just I wanted to say, Kev, what you're saying, that I wanted to continue a couple of things that the woman said. So she said her name is Rita. Scene is a recreation of Rita's Isbel's, the sister of Errol Lindsay, one of Dahmer's victims. So in an interview with Insider, wait, let me see here. I'm hearing some sort of feedback or noise or something. Is that coming from? That's coming from you, Ralph. I think I just muted you. It's coming from your camera. Yeah, it's coming from your. It's like some. I don't know what it is, but I'm muting it because it's coming from your thing. But so she says in an interview with Insider, the mother and grandmother said, when I saw some of the show, it bothered me, especially when I saw myself, when I saw my name across the screen and the lady saying verbatim exactly what I said. She continued, if I didn't know any better, I would have thought it was me. Her hair was like mine. She had on the same clothes. That's why I felt like reliving it all over again. It brought back all those emotions I was feeling back then. And she added, I was never contacted about the show. So the truth emerges.
So how did they
Wait, let me finish. I was never contacted about the show. I feel like Netflix should have asked me if we mind or how we felt about making it. They didn't ask me anything. They just did it. So that's basically her beef. And then it says, I'm not money hungry. Oh, see, of course that was gonna come up. Because that's the first thing people are thinking. Well, what if they'd give you money? Would you let them do it? So she said, I'm not money hungry, and that's what this show is about. Netflix trying to get paid. She said, I could even understand if they gave some of the money to the victims' children, not necessarily their families. I mean, I'm old. I'm very, very comfortable. but the victims have children and grandchildren. If the show benefited them in some way, it wouldn't feel so harsh and careless. It's sad that they're just making money off of this tragedy. That's just greed.
It's not. It is not that. I
It's
haven't even
not.
seen the thing. It's
Yeah.
not that. It's
Yeah.
content for their channel that they make.
This is all
Obviously,
public knowledge. Yeah, this is all public knowledge. That there is no way that they can make this stuff. You can't make anything. It's all public record at this point. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm gonna say
that
it
sounds
like
like that
this.
she kind of wanted a check cut her way.
Yeah.
let's
I'm gonna put it like this. It might have been a different story if this was the first thing done by
Right,
Jeffrey
ever.
Dahmer, maybe. But I'm
Don't matter.
looking here at this. There have been books, TV shows, movies about Jeffrey Dahmer. So when you're sitting there saying, well, they could get some money to the victims, no, because I'm quite sure that, and I'll tell you why. I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna tell you why. I'm quite sure none of these other projects gave anything to the victims, but you know why she's saying about this? This is probably the most high profile version of a Jeffrey Dahmer that has been produced.
Because it's Netflix.
It's Netflix,
Because
yeah.
Netflix. She's like, oh, they got the bag, so we can get it. But ma'am, I want to remind you that the actual victims or the families of the victims, those who didn't survive, those families could have gotten money from the Crime Victims Board if they if they chose to do so, because there is I don't know exactly how it goes, but I know when you're a victim of a crime, there is a that's why when people who get released from jail have to pay restitution, because the families are paid something from the Crime Victims Board.
Yeah, and it also feels like, you know, yeah, because it's Netflix and whatever. But once again, it's not just okay. Netflix is making the money off of it. Well, I mean, Netflix is a subscription-based streaming service. They make money from subscriptions, and that is it. Right?
Okay.
They don't have commercials yet. They don't have, you know, they're gonna bring that model in, but they don't have ads. They don't have commercials, and they only charge subscribers. Yes, viewership could bring more subscriptions. Could, it's not definite. Most of the people that watch it are already subscribers. So the bottom line is, it's just another piece of work, you know, that they've done. And like I said, anyone who's can feel, you know, I won't be surprised if a civil suit is following this, or some sort of lawsuit will follow. Maybe she wanted to put it out there in the public, so then when she doubles back and comes back around and tries to sue Netflix,
Which the judge is going to tell her thick bricks.
You know,
Baby.
so it's like, when, you know, they're gonna sue, if she sues Netflix for not contacting her and using her likeness. I guess that's what she's trying to say, because she pretty much said, it looks just like me. If I didn't know any better, I'd think it was me. She had my same hair. She's wearing the same clothes. They used my name, well, whatever. So I think she put that out there. She probably already got some sort of legal advice to put that out there, so it's not a shock when you turn around and you filing a lawsuit against them.
Now, here's my thing, and I don't want to drag this out, but here's my thing. If nobody contacted you to do anything for the film, you watched it, you got triggered for whatever reason.
Well, I mean, you can't say, you know, she's the sister of the victim, so she could definitely be triggered by something.
But you know what? But her I'm gonna call it her dialogue. her dialogue suggests differently, because if we're thinking about the times back then, families, and so much not so maybe the sisters, but you know, even if people thought, just a hint of people thinking you was gay back in the day, put you in a bad place. Like, ooh, you're the creepy gooey person. because you're, because you're gay or whatever the case may be. And most families.
Well, I mean, and some. I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna speak for most families that do that or that has that situation. I mean, it's very, very likely, and of course, normal that she could be triggered by reliving this,
Oh no, no
by
doubt.
watching it. Most
I'm
definitely. That can't take that away from her. I mean,
yeah. Oh
she
no,
has that right.
I'm not. No, I'm not taking that away from her. The dollar signs were triggered in her mind.
Well, I mean, I'm sure I believe that's where it's all coming from, because I believe that if Netflix had have contacted her,
Because
when
now I
when
want to
she
go.
said contacted, she probably just wanted to see, hey, maybe if it's like, maybe she feels, and this is just a speculation, maybe she feels like, hey, if they just mention my brother because he's a victim, and maybe even like skim through, mention my family or my name, but she's saying someone portrayed her and that bothered her or whatever. So
But
she's saying that she was portrayed by someone, and
mm-hmm.
that triggered her or whatever the case may be. So
Now,
it's just
here's
like the OJ case. They had some young actors playing the Kardashians. They
right.
mentioned them very briefly. Where they show Robert Kardashian at home, and then you had like young Kim and young Chloe. You know what I mean? And that was really the only time you saw them. It was like one episode of that series, maybe two. You might have saw them when he was at home, and then you saw the wife. But
But
that's it.
but here's my thing. If there before this, as we all know, there was other documentaries, other films, or whatever you have. So
yeah.
They've probably reached. Now, what if they got the rights? What if they were smart enough to go and get the rights to that to that other stuff, just to have
I'm sure they did.
material.
I'm sure. I'm 100% sure Netflix is ready for any. That you have to anticipate that people are going to come at you
and come
for
out
this
of the
series,
woodwork.
come out of the woodworks, or just you have to assume that and anticipate that. And I'm sure they may have insurances for that. That may cover them and may give them money from it. You know what I mean? But it's not coming out their pocket per se. If they do that, they may also have like I said, they're prepared legally for this, because of course there's a possibility of some of the victims' families resenting this show, or just not want it to be out there, or not want to whatever. They have their own issues, but I just thought it was interesting to bring that up.
But I still got the same question, and no disrespect to this lady, because I mean you're the relative of your relative went through a horrible thing, no doubt. But however, it's not a but. However, like I said about 10 minutes ago, this isn't the first time something's been traded by Jeffrey Dahmer. And I'm looking here. It says the last thing portrayed by him was a 2017 movie called My Friend Dahmer, based on the graphic novel by John Bachdorf. Right? Why didn't you say something back then? And then right before that, there was a film that came out in 2012, a documentary. Then before that, in 2006, you had a feature film. In 2002, you had a feature film. In 93, you had a feature film.
Going on for years. Yep.
So why now all of a sudden with this one you feel some kind of way?
Because it's Netflix, and like you said, like what Kev said and what you said, Ralph, you said because it's probably the most popularized version of it, and Kev, you said because it's Netflix. It's both. That's the answer. That's the answer. And it's definitely it only leads to those two answers, or those two common denominators lead to the answer of it's monetary. It's a monetary thing. And that's what it is. And look, I'm not saying that you feel how you feel. I'm not saying that you shouldn't want some bread for it. That's up to you.
No, I'm saying no.
That's how
saying
you
it.
feel.
No, you shouldn't. No, no. I take no.
I'm not saying it
Well,
because people feel how they feel. It doesn't mean that they're gonna get it.
But
So they feel how they
exactly.
feel.
It ain't like you the Marvin Gaye family or the
Right.
gays, and okay, we have what do they call that? Wes, help me out because my memory is bad. The trust, not the family trust or whatever they call it, the estate,
Oh, the estate.
the estate.
the gay estate. You know what I'm saying? So they on the lookout for up, and then what cracked me up with that is it was clear you could listen to bird lines and listen to gay song and know that that's what they did. It was a sample.
Right.
You know
Or
what I'm saying?
interpolation. It was an interpolation.
It did.
Yeah,
Of course.
They didn't actually sample it.
Yeah, just
It's
like
an
Ray Parker.
interpolation.
Just like Ray Parker Jr.'s Ghostbuster
Yep.
isn't Huey Lewis. I want a new drug.
It's
I'm
an
just saying.
interpolation. Yeah. That's why Huey Lewis won that lawsuit against them because number one, they're for the people that don't know Huey Lewis, they wanted Huey Lewis to do the theme, the Ghostbusters, but he was doing Back to the Future. He was busy. He was also doing Back to the Future and stuff like that. A little busy. So they go and get dude and says, hey. So yeah, but anyway, yeah. So exactly, like I said, first of all, most of this stuff is public record. So
that part
right there is gonna save them because this film, although it is a film or a series, not a film, it's a series. This series, when you're doing something that's public record,
you fill out a FOIL.
Right. You basically
Freedom of Information Act. The
yeah.
Freedom of
it's just like the Fair Act, the Fair Use Act. It falls under the Fair Use Act.
And that.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So it falls under fair use because it's public record, and the series can very well be. They can say, well, we're also making this series not to entertain, but to educate and stuff like that. And then once all of that falls into place, and that all falls under fair use. So as far as that goes, using her brother and all of that stuff, they couldn't really do nothing about that. That's why I believe the way she was talking, she was trying to paint a narrative that she didn't feel good seeing her likeness on TV without her permission. That's and if I feel if she's going the way I think she's going, she probably got some sort of legal advice about that to put that narrative out there.
Yeah,
to put that narrative out there because she's basically saying that she remember she focused on the character that played her. Oh my God, she looked just like me. She wore the exact same clothes, said what I said verbatim. Even her hair looked like mine. So she's basically putting the narrative out there that oh man, good looks, man, for that.
I got a question.
There.
I have a question though. Does this actress that plays her, does she look like her?
I mean, I don't know. According to her, she does. So
well,
I mean,
of course,
at this point,
if you're looking for the money grab, of course you're gonna say anything that will remind me of this. But
that's just
really
that requires further investigation.
Yeah.
I don't know if this actress. I'm not even sure. I'm not even fully through the series yet. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm taking my time and I'm digesting it. And honestly, in full transparency, I'm having trouble with the homo parts. I have to be honest with you. So I'm kind of like skimming through that. I'm kind of fast forwarding through some of that stuff, and it's very uncomfortable for me. And even not just those parts, the parts that just some of these things, man. This guy he's weird on another level. He's weird on another level, and it's just like once again, we appreciate the super chat. Thank you. He's weird on another. He was weird on another level. He's crazy. He's a different type of crazy. Some of the stuff, like this dude, my man, oh my God, what is his name? Quicksilver, yeah. It's the guy who played Quicksilver. That's him. Yeah, I can't think his name right now. Somebody help me out here. What is the guy's name who plays Dahmer?
Right now.
His name is
it's damn, where's his name at? Oh, Evan Peters.
Evan Peters. Evan Peters is bodying this role, and he's doing so well. I mean, he's wow. He might need. We had a show about that before about crazy like roles or whatever. Evan Peters, thank you. Yep, exactly. He threw it up there. He might need some therapy after this. he might have had to detox and do some therapy after he did this role because this dude is crazy. This Jeffrey Dahmer was crazy on another level. I mean, another level of weird, creepy, crazy, all mashed into one. Like, I know that they're supposedly, they when they used to describe him, yeah, he was a decent looking guy, blah blah blah. I'm just like, yo, this dude, there's everything creepy about him. I don't understand how he attracted any men to bring home anybody to bring home with him, because this dude, oh my god, he was creepy on a whole nother level.
I got another question. What is the name of the woman that's lodging this complaint? Is it Rita? Is Bella?
Rita
Isabel.
Isabel, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm looking to, and it says here, during Dahmer's 92 trial, her sister of Dahmer victim Errol Lindsay,
yeah,
right, gave a statement which has been widely broadcast ever since. On September 22nd, a Twitter username Erica, cousin of Isabella, tweeted a response to the show stating, "I'm not telling anyone what to watch. I know that true crime is huge, but if you're actually curious about the victims, my family, the Isbels, are pissed about the show. It's re-traumatizing over and over again, and for what? How many movie show documentaries do we need? My cousin wakes up every few months at this point with a bunch of calls and messages, and they know there's another Dahmer show is cruel." So that goes what I just said. He said, "How many?" It's not the first one.
Yeah,
not the first one. So if this has been going on repeatedly at this point, and not to disparage this young lady and her family, but I think at this point, it doesn't matter how many more versions of Jeffrey Dahmer come in, you're always going to be in it because now you are a right. It's a historical event.
I mean, it, like you said, to further, not to disrespect your feelings, but I mean, it's no different from anyone who's tied to 9/11 or anyone who's tied to any other tragedy or anyone that was tied to Manson murders or anybody. This is just part of history, and people are going to make things about it. I'm not saying it's right. You have the right to feel how you feel, but I don't think I specifically think her saying those words specifically, when I saw some of the show, it bothered me, especially when I saw myself, when I saw my name across the screen, and his lady and name of the screen, and his lady saying verbatim, this lady, some lady, she says, the actress obviously, saying verbatim exactly what I said. If I didn't know any better, I would have thought it was me. Her hair was like mine. She had on the same clothes. That's why I felt like reliving it all over again. And it brought back emotions of feeling back then. That was, I think someone told her to say that, because I think
but that's part of history.
I think that's strategic. I think it's strategic.
But that's historic. If that's what you did, and they're going to recreate that particular crime, whether it was the crime, the aftermath, whatever. If you kill, look. If, and I'm not saying that he did by himself, nor am I saying that he did, but the man that is accused of killing John F. Kennedy, right? We all know who he is, okay? But when they did the movie JFK, all right, they portrayed him as the killer. And he looked like him. Only thing that might have been different was his actual talk, but he dressed like him, the whole thing, because that's part of
Yeah.
his story.
They
You
even
can't change
recreated
that.
the picture that they put on the front of
Right,
Time magazine or whatever with
right,
him holding the shotgun or the
right.
rifle.
They right for Henry, and furthermore, every single time you see someone portray Lee Harvey Oswald, they always look the same. There's no way around that, because
It's
that's
a
a
part of
part of
history,
history.
yeah.
Is
Like
that
I
it?
truly think she was just trying to. I think she's strategically throwing those keywords out there because I'm telling you now, I'm calling it now. There will be a lawsuit pending from this woman, and I
Mm-hmm.
think she's setting it up by saying this. Doesn't mean she's going to win it. Doesn't mean she's going to get anything, but I believe it's going to be a suit set up, and she may know. And, you know, she should be an expert by now. As all these years, all of those Dahmer things that you just mentioned, she may know if she sues them, she might be able to get some money from the insurance company that they have. You know, they take out certain insurances for things like this. Some of that stuff may even fall under errors and omission. You know what I'm saying? So,
I don't think
there's there
I don't think she's
there
gonna get anything, because this is all a
she may
standpoint
not.
of historical accuracy. Is that
I don't.
accurate?
I don't think. Yeah. I don't. I
And
don't
and,
think
and
she will either. But I mean, if she does, that's where it's gonna come from. It ain't coming out of per se Netflix's pocket. It's just okay. We know you wanted money from the beginning, so here, go away. That's basically if that even happens. I'm just saying. But I believe she will file a lawsuit. All right, let's move forward. We'll get to our second round. I have the pictures loaded, but I don't know which I
yeah,
don't
I
know
can't.
which
I was trying to put them in myself. Uh,
but
you're
I
gonna.
just gotta tell me just tell me which one is next, and I'll just go to that slide
All right,
when you tell
the
me
first one
who's
you
up
start,
first.
because you probably have it like you did where it was backwards. So the first slide should be Lonnie and I mean, not, I'm sorry, not Lonnie. The first slide should be Pamela Anderson. That should be slide number one. It's Pamela Anderson. But if I could just have a quick second, I'd like to say something real fast before we get into tournament, because I think my boy is watching, Marcus Aurelius, that does a men's magazine. He was recently in. Hey, Nikki Gallo, how you doing?
Thank you, Kel. Thank you for becoming a member.
All right.
Yeah. I gotta
I
get
happen.
my sound effects back.
Yeah, we gotta get some class to people. But he was having a discussion that turned into a full-fledged argument with someone the other day on Facebook about the use of the word fine, particularly when it came to someone said fine. Someone said, well, the difference between Nia Long, not and it got nothing to do with this scandal going on with her, Nia Long and Elise Neal. And the person said that Elise Neal was cute, but Nia Long was fine. But more people said no, Nia Long was fine, but she's cute now. Elise Neal is fine, especially because of her age. And Elise Neal is
They do favor
60.
each other. They used to remind me of each other. They do favor each other in
a little bit.
In a little
But
way,
let me just be clear with this, right? Both of the ladies are very attractive, regardless. However, taking Elise Neal's age, that she is almost pushing 60 and she looks like she's 34, Elise Neal is fine. Nia Long does not look like how she used to when she was in Love Jones or the first of Soul Food. She looked. I mean, you can 17, but age has come, and she's certainly still attractive. I mean, would you still want to? Would you still want to do her? Yes, and it sounds kind of male chauvinistic. Would you still want to hang with her? Of course you would. But people, please, when someone says someone is fine and someone says someone is cute, that's their own opinion. If you sit there and say Janet Jackson is cute, but Rihanna is fine, that's your opinion. Whereas someone would say, well, Janet is fine and Rihanna is cute. That's your opinion. There's no need to get into a big verbal social media war because one person thinks someone
for
is
an
fine, the other one
opinion,
thinks someone
yeah.
is cute. Calm
That
it
doesn't even
down.
make sense at all. And before we
Calm
move
it
on,
down.
I know Sharif Yusuf says but here's a bigger picture. We have to live through that type of stuff every day. So it really doesn't make difference, especially when it comes to history of Black Americans. Yes, you're right. You got to live through this stuff. This is stuff that just happens. So, but yeah. So yeah. Okay. So the first First slide you said is what?
It's Pamela Anderson. She's slide number 1. Well, I'm sorry, she is battle number 1. It's Pamela Anderson.
Got you. Let me bring that up.
Why is there a dog barking?
There's dogs here barking.
Oh, right, I forgot. Yeah, you got dogs here.
All right, let me share the screen here. You said check us next Monday. All right, Joseph, thank you for sticking around as long as you did. And let's go ahead. Hold on a second. Okay, battle number 1.
And so, Kevin, that's the third.
This
strap.
is
That's
round 2.
You
right? And this is round 2 of the battles. Of the looking for the hottest TV female character of all time. 5 decades worth of research, and we do have our criteria, of course. Obviously, appeal is top of the list. We're talking about who's the finest, right? But then we also have other things in our criteria, which also includes things like the impact that they made on pop culture, the impact they made on their respected shows. These are things that are come into play as well
And
when you
there's
make
the
these
setup.
decisions. And then there what?
And there's the setup.
Oh,
how was there the setup?
The mention of pop culture, just the word alone, says Pamela Anderson. Unfortunately, but I'm going to have a Locklear because I like all natural.
Let me mull this over for a second. One second here.
Heather Locklear just was. She wasn't trying to be anything extra. She didn't try to enhance herself. She just was. She understood what she was. She understood that she was not only a good actress, but she understood the unfortunate side of Hollywood of being a sex symbol. And that's what she was to many a man. And again, it was, there was nothing over the top, nothing, crazy. It was just, just a natural, good old all-American woman.
Okay.
Yusuf says Pamela took it home for me. She had more of an impact, especially when I was younger. I loved her show, Stripperella.
Yo, I did too. I thought that show was awesome. That cartoon.
Yeah.
What show?
Actually,
that was an animated show. That was an animated show of us. Remember, she had a few shows. She had of course, Baywatch was like her breakout show, and then she had VIP.
Yeah.
Right. She had VIP, that show, and that was an animated show that he mentioned.
And
but I like what you said about Heather Locklear. Heather Locklear, and remember, Heather Locklear was I mean, you got up here from Melrose Place, but hell, she was fine back at Dynasty.
Listen,
you know what I'm saying? So that's two different decades.
Role. But see, she had the bigger
right. She was the
role
bigger
in
role
Melrose
on Mel.
Place.
But yeah,
she was
I'm just mentioning that because meaning she's always. And the funny thing is, this picture of her here. Let's just say that's from the Melrose Place era, but she doesn't look much different than she did when she was in Dynasty.
Nah, she doesn't.
That's she doesn't look much different from there, which that's a good thing to bring up too. Definitely, Kev brought up definitely a little more natural. She was what she was. She was definitely pretty. Her characters were always sexy. The thing is, like you said, this was the show to use because she was the main character. Whereas in Dynasty, there were so many other characters. And I believe, was her character ever recast in Dynasty? I thought it was at one time.
I don't think it was.
I don't know. But her character was important, but the show would have went on without her in Dynasty. Melrose Place, she was the more important. Which it did. Melrose Place is a little more important. So the fact that the new Dynasty, they recast her character as a guy. the new Dynasty,
that might be saying something.
Sammy Joe is a gay male.
Wow, that might be saying something.
So
that just might.
But that's that. Something. But once again, I can't ignore the impact. Because you can go what you want to do. Some people, this is like as far as looks go, it's what your taste is. You see what I'm saying? Believe it or not, people, not everyone is attracted to the way Pamela Anderson looks. That style, the big breasts, the whatever.
Hair.
Yeah, big hair. Not everyone is. Some are more attracted to the style of Heather Locklear. A little more natural. Still, the nice eyes, whatever. So, so looks wise, I don't really need to really go over it because the impact, even Kev said it, even though he went for Heather Locklear, he knows just the word pop culture, you automatically think Pamela Anderson. Yeah, just the word itself, So it's a tough one. This is one of those cutthroat ones because I didn't expect her to go out so I expect her to go out so quick. So, but I'm definitely gonna go with Pamela Anderson just on the fact that her impact on pop culture. She had, you want to take Baywatch. Now, granted, Baywatch went on after she left. Baywatch continued after she left, but it didn't have quite the same luster that it had when Pamela Anderson was on it. So, I think this one is going to end up being a Pamela Anderson thing. Ralph has to say I think he's already, I don't know if he already said her, but I'm pretty sure he's going to go with her. So, Ralph, are you there, or did you he must have stepped away. This, what he says here. Then she still looks beautiful right now. He said, but Heather is the natural mama. That's true. That's what he said. See, you got us going back and forth. We got old boy going back and forth here. He said, yo, Pamela takes it. But he's like, wait a minute.
Exactly.
Heather is the
Exactly.
He's like, Heather is the more natural one. And he's like, and she still look good to this day. He's like, she still looks beautiful now. So my man here, boy, I am Yusuf Ali. We had him going back and forth, Ralph. He's straddling the fence right now. He said he came with Pamela, then he went over. Heather is more natural.
Welcome to the tournament. You said this is called cutthroat.
It's called cutthroat, man. We can't have them all.
And believe me, it's going to get worse. It's going to
get even worse than that. But I'm going with Pamela Anderson just on the pop culture alone. And did you say Pamela, Ralph, or did you say?
I'm going with Pamela. No, I'm going with Pamela.
Right.
I'm going with Pamela.
You're going with Pamela Anderson. So Pamela Anderson will move on. So who's up next? And I'll bring that.
Okay.
I'll bring
All
that
right. So
slide up.
our next battle in the hottest TV actress of all time is Lonnie Anderson from the show WKRP in Cincinnati versus Linda Carter in the show Wonder Woman. Who you got?
Okay. And there you go. Coming at you. Boom. Here's the next battle. Lonnie Anderson, WKRP in Cincinnati. Linda Carter, Wonder Woman.
Viva la Mexico.
So you got Linda Carter. I mean, it's Wonder Woman, dude. I mean,
Viva la Mexico. Viva la Mexico.
Lonnie Anderson, once again. I mean, if we got to go with pop culture, that's another name that's going to come up when you say the word pop culture. Linda Carter, she Wonder Woman. So much so that they even bought her and gave her a cameo in the Wonder Woman movie. The one that was terrible, unfortunately, but still, they gave her a cameo in Wonder Woman.
And she was the first to successfully do the Invisible Jet.
The Invisible Jet, yeah. I mean, we all know, Linda Carter's name is synonymous with, right up there with, how everyone, loved, at least at that time, Christopher Reeve as Superman, or even back when they said, even this is before the Batman movies came out, when, Adam West, Batman, I mean, right out the gate, Linda Carter is her name just sticks out. And Lonnie Anderson is definitely fine. We know that, look wise. Her character in WKRP in Cincinnati was not a main character. She was, but she wasn't. She was really just the eye candy of the show. And so without spending too much time on this, I'm going Linda Carter.
I might agree with that Lonnie. Right, that Lonnie Anderson was the eye candy. But here's the thing about Lonnie Anderson, is that she didn't play the stereotypical blonde, dumb girl, just used her body to get whatever she wants. She was she was a very intelligent woman. And a lot of things on that show, as far as her being the secretary to the owner of the show, didn't happen unless Lonnie Anderson kind of signed off on it or got it going. And they included her in a lot of the decisions of the station. So for that, she's a little bit different, where she didn't play the stereotypical dumb blonde role, So
right.
But overall, you have to get you just can't ignore Linda Carter's impact on pop culture. I mean, it's now
little girls walk up to her still. Little girls will walk up to her still, or even young people that were little girls when the show was on, or older people our age that was younger when the show was on, will walk up to her at a Comic-Con and be like, "Oh my God, you were like my idol." You know what I'm saying? Like,
please,
she's Wonder Woman.
Please, you got guys that walk up to her talk about, "You are my idol."
Yeah. I mean, it was Wonder Woman, man. So, but I think that was just.
I remember I remember as a kid, the first time I didn't know nothing about. I didn't know. My introduction to finding out about gay people was when we were outside playing and we were all choosing Super Friends, and I can't remember the kid's name, but he was like, "I'm Wonder Woman," and everybody just looked like, "What? Like, wait, what?"
But quite frankly, when you put all the Super Friends together, Wonder Woman could pretty much whoop all their asses.
So
that.
It was like, we all look at him. You can't be Wonder Woman. I could be what I want to be. It was like we argued for like 20 minutes about this kid being Wonder Woman, and then we just fell in line, just like, okay, whatever, you're that. But it was just. She affected a lot of people, like
she did. She on pop culture Yusuf said that'd be me, except I'd be Storm. That's great. That's awesome. Said I'd be Storm. That's funny. That's what's up. Yeah. So I'm definitely We know that's just Wonder Woman. So who's up next? I'm saying Wonder Woman. I'm not even calling her
Okay.
Linda Carter.
All right.
So she
I know
wins. She
that's the
moves
thing. We don't
on.
even call her. We don't even call her Linda Carter. We call her Wonder Woman. We just call her Wonder Woman. That's really it.
Yeah.
And
Okay. So our third battle of the
oh, I'm sorry, Ralph. And to all y'all out there who are confused, Wonder Woman is Mexican.
Linda Carter. Yeah.
Viva la Mexico.
Mm-hmm. Good. All
Very
right.
true. Very true.
Very true.
So for our next battle of the night, we have Alyssa Milano from the show Charmed versus Jessica Alba from the show Dark Angel.
Okay.
I'm only going with
This is a tough one. This is one of them cutthroat ones for me. It's a tough one because I love Alyssa Milano and Charm. I'm let me tell you something. That whole cast of Charm, I loved. I ain't gonna lie. even I to be honest with you, I wasn't so big on Rose McGowan when she came in. She was okay. You know, she's attractive, but I mean, like, I don't know. I didn't think her character fit in as well. Obviously Shannon Doherty was always hard to work with. That's why people are, that's why she never stays on shows because she's kind of hard to work with. But Shannon Doherty, especially in Charm, I used to watch 90210. I wasn't really attracted to her in that show, but in Charmed,
it's because Charm put her in a more intimate setting.
Right. More grown up setting too, even though they all were playing teenagers as grown ups, but they were like playing high school students and stuff like that. I don't know. She appealed more to me when Charmed came in because that was a more adult topic. You know what I mean? Like that to me. That's how I felt about it. Alyssa Milano is just Lord of mercy. You know what I mean? She would. And let's talk about. So we already know about looks. You could flip a coin. I mean, I think Jessica Alba is a little more no makeup pretty.
Exactly. And
She's a little more. And Alyssa Milano is too, though.
Yeah, she is. But
she
Jessica,
is too.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm keeping it a buck. The only reason why I'm picking Alyssa Milano is because again of it's the pop culture thing. You know what I'm saying? She
was big. Trump was big.
Yeah, listen, when I was with my fiance, her kids were watching the reruns of Charmed.
Yeah, Charmed was big, man. That was a big show. It ran for what, 9 seasons? Something like that. Something outrageous. 8 or 9 seasons or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, the show was huge, and she was the mainstay of the show. I mean, the other one stayed too, but she became very, her role became more prominent. They started upping her powers, like, and let's be honest, I got to put her and Cole on my list of TV couples. You know what I mean? I mean, her and Cole was just so toxic.
Listen,
that was a toxic relationship if it was one ever. But you couldn't get enough of it. You had to keep seeing her and Cole together.
But
you had to.
the one thing I'm just gonna say on this that I'm gonna leave after that is that they what disappointed me was they missed out on an opportunity to have the original Charm ones in the new Charm.
Yeah.
The new Charm.
Yeah, they missed an opportunity. That's because of that was just because of the stubbornness of both parties, mainly the originals. That they if they would have mended their fences earlier before the other show got canceled, they would have probably made that happen. Because there was a lot of pettiness going on between But that's that's a whole nother story. But Charmed was so big; it was bigger than Dark Angel. It was way bigger than Dark Angel. The show.
And Jessica Alba is one of my queens.
Yeah. I mean, Jessica Alba is just she's no makeup fine. She's also she's a good actor.
Stick her. She makes it work.
But like I said, depending on your taste, whatever, flip a coin as far as looks wise with these women. Alyssa Milano had a little, obviously because the show was way bigger, so she definitely had a bigger impact. She had a big impact on that show. Like I said, the drama between her and Cole alone brought a lot of to that show. I was saying, Ralph, when you had dropped off, I said this show. I said I got to put them on my couples list of who's the best couple because they were so toxic. Her and Cole, in Charmed. I remember her character started near the ending seasons. She started gaining more powers. She didn't just have premonitions. She was able to do other stuff too. Like, you remember their powers get stronger. And yeah. Wow. Tough one. I'm going with Alyssa. Milano.
Alyssa win.
Yusuf said this is too hard. I am Yusuf said this is too hard. Welcome.
That's
to
why it's called Cutthroat.
Welcome to the Cutthroat. What did you, Kev? Where you going? You going with who?
Yeah, I went with Alyssa early.
Yeah. You went with her early. Okay, because of that. Yeah.
That's why I made. She's Charmed is a part of pop culture. I mean, and it's not Dark Angel was huge with. Well, excuse me for putting it like this, but it was Dark Angel was huge with us sci-fi and nerds. That's where that show was huge with. But
Charmed was huge with everything, with everyone. It was on a bigger network. It was on you know what I mean? Like it was on not a bigger network, but it was just
you said it right because Sci-Fi Channel was just starting to come up when I think that's what that was on, right? It was on
Dark Angel.
It was on Fox. It was on Fox.
Okay.
It was definitely on Fox. But regardless of the fact, it was just Charmed was all over the place, man. It was the masses, and it really
and Charmed was syndicated while it was still running. It was syndicated.
Yeah, it was. While it was still running. And yeah. So that's So Alyssa Milano is going to win this one by default.
Yeah, I went her. The show she was on, but Viva Puerto Rico.
Excuse me.
Puerto Rico, ho, Puerto Rico, ho. So Jessica, you lost, but you won.
Yeah. So Alyssa Milano moves on.
Lost.
He said no, she just lost.
Okay. All right. Okay, so the next battle.
They should have. Because what did they say? They should have did what Vampire Diaries and the originals did. Oh, you mean on Charmed? Maybe. I mean, they could have did that, but there was a remake. It wasn't a continuation, was it? Oh, was it a continuation? I don't remember. No, it was a continuation, right?
No, the new one was
re-imaging.
It was just a all Latina cast. That's all it was. All the girls were connected through through the bloodline of a mother, and then one of the girls at the end of season 3 left the show for whatever reason. I don't know why she left. And they brought it, but they brought it. But see, here's the thing.
They did the same thing. They brought in another one that was another sister or whatever.
Well, she was another sister technically. But the one thing that they didn't lack in fineness. Because they're not gonna lack.
But that's just like I said, even when in the original show, Rose McGowan's attractive. I just didn't think she fit in as good with the other ones, but that was fine. A lot of people still liked her.
I liked her. I wasn't upset with the
I mean, I liked how the character, it was half white, lighter, and stuff like that. I thought that was kind of cool.
yeah.
And she had the, different power. I don't know. My favorite character actually was Prue. To be honest with you, she was my favorite character because they had to evolve their powers to even get to Prue's level because Prue was a beast with it. You know what I'm saying? She had that telekinesis, so she be throwing you all over the place. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then I loved Piper's powers of freezing, but then they had to give her that extra, to kind of compensate because they never had anything else like Prue's power. You know what I mean? And she was actually very powerful. And remember that there was that one episode, I forgot what it was, but she was very powerful, Prue. And if her powers she would have stuck around and her powers would have got bigger, it'd have been crazy. But anyway, all right. So what's the next battle, Ralph? I'll bring it up.
Okay, so our next battle for the night is Kelly Coco, the Battle of the Comedians. Kelly Coco from The Big Bang Theory versus Suzanne Summers from Three's Company.
Okay, let's bring it up. Kelly and Suzanne Summers. Doo-doo-doo. And there you have it. Kelly Coco from The Big Bang Theory. Suzanne Summers.
These images do nothing for them. Summers look like she's trying to be a weightlifter, a bodybuilder.
Hey, I like that picture of Kelly Coco though.
I think
I do like that. I do like that picture of Kelly Coco.
Yeah. All right. So when I look at these two, I think about their characters. I mean, it's very hard to compare these two that are they're separated by so many generations, or not so many, but so many decades.
But here's how you
mean?
Here's how you put it together. Is because of their impact. They both had a strong impact
on their respective shows. Yeah.
They
Although we didn't experience it, but I have to wonder how would Big Bang Theory have fared had she left the show and her character left the show. Yes, they brought in all the other characters. Yes, they had some, other cute women and stuff like that, but they all were nerds. Like all those characters were the same person. They were all nerds. You know what I mean? She was the only one that represented the non-nerd, right? So, I think her character being removed from the show loses a little something.
I don't want to call them nerds.
I think it loses a lot.
Because in the case of the Big Bang Theory, they weren't nerds. These were some super smart people. These were smart humans. Like they were at the top of their class. They were at the top of their game.
Yeah.
Hell, homegirl.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, the whole premise of it was one of the reasons why, the nerd getting the girl, stuff like that, getting the hot chick.
Exactly.
I'm not interested in women, but she do look interesting if you catch my drift. That's funny. Yeah, I agree. And I am interested in women. I agree with you 100%.
I never looked at it as the nerd getting the girl because, like I said,
That's what it was though, because they were from two different worlds. She didn't date guys like him.
They weren't from two different worlds. They were just from two different levels. He was smart and he worked. And what did he work in a lab or something?
They were all scientists. That's what I'm saying. So I mean, they're all scientists. But what I mean by two different worlds is she grew up as a whatever and a waitress and a struggling actress, and so that's a whole different world from what Leonard was used to. You know, that's why, you know, it's just like it is the quintessential she's out of my league, but I still got the girl story.
That's the term that should be used. And not even that she was out of his league. It was just like in his mind.
Oh,
like
she was. She was way out of his league. Way out of his league. Way.
Be honest.
I mean,
I'm be honest. I looked at it as the reverse. He was actually intellectually, he was way out of her league.
Intellectually, yeah, but that the whole thing was, I mean, one of the reasons, I mean, that was actually, and I kid you not, that was literally one of the bases, one of the beats that they added from the creation of the show, to have the fact that these guys move across the hall from this girl that is completely nothing like them or nothing like any women that they've ever dated. She's the girl that they look at from a distance and be like, wow, you know what I mean? And the fact that
I can't even speak to her.
Right. I can't even. So the fact that dude ends up bagging her, and not only bagging her, he marries her. That's a whole part of the right. That's the whole part of the whatever the there's a word for it, but they've done it before, you know what I mean? But that's what it's just like Steve Urkel getting Laura at the end of the show. You know what I'm saying? She won all that time. She could have took Stefan, who was the cool dude, the type of guy that was, you know, she was really interested in. But at the end of the day, she fell for Urkel. She fell for Steve. You know what I mean? So that's the triumph of it all. So, but anyway, what I meant by the different decades is, you know, that was just purely on look. Suzanne Summers, yes, you know, she had a great look from back then, and this is a little weird for me to compare them now because of whatever. But yeah, now let's go into Impact. We just said about Kaylee Cuckoo, her impact was pretty good on the show. They both were, because, you know, even though the show went on without Chrissy, all right, but it wasn't quite the same with the female characters. Jack Tripper's a whole nother story. He made that show anyway. That was his show, as far as I'm concerned. And that never changed. He was John Ritter, rest in peace, aka Jack Tripper, was the main who really made that show. When they brought in the other female characters, it felt like they were just trying to replace Chrissy. That's all they felt like.
Yep.
You know, from day one, it didn't feel like just another character. It felt like they were just trying, just like my man said. Kevin Smith says, chasing Amy. It felt like they were just chasing Chrissy for the rest of the series.
I don't think so, because what they felt like to me. The nurse character that they brought in, she wasn't nothing like Chrissy.
She wasn't nothing like her. And I don't necessarily mean, when I mean chasing Chrissy, I don't necessarily mean just trying to get another, you know, whatever. But it just felt, I don't know, it just didn't feel the same. Chrissy's character, forget about, you know, her character was still the best character out of all of those blondes that was on that show.
Yeah.
Her character is the best character, you know, because yeah, she had the whole dumb blonde thing going on, but once again, she had that you had the little points where the uniqueness of her, and she wasn't as dumb as what everyone thought she was. That's like a whole quintessential thing that they go with as well. And she was unique. You know what I mean?
If you go back and look at it from the Jump Street, Chrissy Snow's character wasn't dumb. They made her dumb.
They made her
originally
right.
She was
Yeah.
Originally she was very coherent, and if you want to say that, but then as the show became popular, they made her dumb because, like I said about the what's her name? Not playing Lonnie Anderson, not playing. They had her playing the stereotypical dumb blonde. Hey, Lively, what's going on?
Thanks for coming a member.
That ball never touched the ground. Sorry, I'm watching the.
Yeah. So
the game is over. Over. It's over.
Well, so she wasn't like that at first. And remember, they changed they did
Oh,
change
wait a
the
minute.
trajectory of her character because I think at first they talked about possibly having her character involved, not get involved with John Ritter or whatever, or flirt with him or whatever the case may be. They changed the trajectory of her character, and with her leaving, they were kind of, you gotta remember, before she even left, they did like a whole half a season of her character still being on the show, but not being on the show. She would literally,
Yeah.
they would literally call her, they'd have her phone in, the character phone in, and at the, I think that was part of her contract or something like that. They still had to show her at some point, and she would literally just shoot a scene where she's on a phone somewhere, and talking to, and Janet's breaking down to her what happened. So I don't know. Her character was very important to that show. Where, like I said, we didn't get a chance to witness it with Kaylee's character, but I believe it would have took a big hit if her character, not just her, because they could have brought in another, beautiful woman to play to recast the character, but was her character. It's just like when you removed Charlie Sheen from 2.5 Men. It just wasn't the same.
Yeah. It went
Ashton
downhill
Kutcher
quick.
replacing it just wasn't the same with 2.5 Men. You know what I mean?
So anyway,
yeah, the show I watched it. It was a funny show. It just wasn't the same. Once his character left, Ashton Kutcher's character was definitely completely different than his, which what they had to do. They wasn't recasting the character. They were bringing a new one. And that tends to happen in these shows. So this is probably one of the tougher ones for me tonight.
I'm going with whatever her name is.
Kaylee?
Yeah. Because
Kaylee
she,
Cuoco.
and the only reason why I'm going with her is because one, what's her face has no connection to this generation. I mean, Chrissy's character, the actress, she just has no
connection to this generation.
With the exception
She's just
for
a Thigh Master girl.
We're her
Thigh Master. Yeah, the Thigh Master.
We're her connection to now, and even that was the 90s.
Yeah,
so,
I know.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we're
y'all coming with some heavy hitters. Yeah, we are coming with some heavy hitters, man. They just and somebody got to lose. Somebody gotta win, and somebody got to lose. All right, so you going with Kaylee then, Kev? Who you going with, Ralph? Kaylee or Suzanne?
I'm taking Kaylee. Because I do agree. I think without her on the show is just somewhat kind of boring. And I mean, come on, this show with her on it lasted it went 12 seasons. It's like the longest running.
Yeah, it went very long. It went very long
of all time.
Yeah,
that says something to your character. And the other thing I found interesting is that although on the show she's now married to someone that's super smart, they didn't change her. They left her the way that she was. They didn't try to make her say, well, because now my husband's smart, I gotta be smart. They said, no,
she's smart.
You're fine the way you are.
No, because it was that contrast. They needed that contrast of her. So so she definitely moves on. Saves me the trouble of picking. She moves on. And but I probably would have went with her anyway. Who's next, Ralph? There's like what, 2 left, 3 left?
Okay. No, we got our next battle of the classic ladies is Joan Collins from the show Dynasty versus Morgan Fairchild from the show Falcon Crest. I already got my win in this. And you know what? I'm gonna say I'm picking Joan Collins, but I think I'm more solidified in that thought because I watched this documentary about her the other day that was on Turner Classic Movies. It's called This is Joan Collins. And she said something which I found interesting. 2 things. The first one, I'm not 100% sure, but she said when she did the episode of Star Trek, her episode that she was on is probably the most famous show of Star Trek, beyond Space Seed, right? But the other thing is that, which I didn't realize, that she actually isn't on the first season of Dynasty. She didn't come into season number 2.
Oh yeah, I knew that.
When she came,
they brought her in the beginning of season number 2,
right?
Because or maybe the end of
But
season 1, they mentioned her.
Right, but she didn't actually come to season number 2. But when she came on, the show was ranked 43rd. By the end of the season, it was ranked number 1. That's only because of her. Only because of her. No other reason. Only because of her.
Only thing I'm gonna say is Michael Jackson. So we can go on to the next one because Joan Collins wins.
Joan Collins. But yeah,
I don't understand
Joan Collins. Joan Collins definitely, like you just said, just proved her impact on the show. Her character impact.
She was the epitome of class. Like you looked at her, and I to this day I still don't know what she was. Was she American? Was she British? I don't know, because
she had a good look to her, brunette doing her thing. I mean, and I actually named my daughter after her character, Alexis. I love that name, Alexis. And then when I not because I couldn't afford a car, that's why I named my daughter Alexis. But no, because I got the name from Dynasty, believe it or not. The character Alexis that everyone hated. They love to hate her. That was one of my favorite characters actually on the show. So pop culture alone wins it. So she moves on. Joan Collins. Who's next? Bro.
Wow, that was fast. Okay. So our next battle.
We knew that.
Our next battle is of some. That was the easy one. All right, so our next battle is the battle of strong women, very strong women. So our next battle is Lindsay Lohan. Let me rephrase that. Lindsay Wagner from the show The Bionic Woman versus Lucy Lawless from Xena Warrior Princess.
Warrior Princess, yeah.
Listen. Lucy Lawless wins this. Let's move on.
Xena changed. Xena changed a lot.
The Bionic Woman was literally 5 minutes in a speck of time, and no diss and no offense to Lindsay Wagner, because she, whatever her name is, she did her thing. But Lucy Lawless was it.
Yeah, Lucy Lawless was it. She was it. He just said, he says like Lucy next.
Exactly. I don't even know. Well, it should have just. You should have just put a picture up of Lucy and just kept it moving.
Wow.
Okay.
Man.
Xena Warrior Princess changed a lot of things.
I kind of agree with that one. I do feel that Lucy Lawless. I mean, she not only did she kick the door down, she broke the door. She was like, Jesus, like Xena.
It ain't even nothing to talk about. When she comes up, when she steps into the room, nobody else matters.
She just killed it. Love it. All right.
I don't know about that part.
Next, let's move on.
But her presence is certainly strong.
Because if she stepped out of that picture into my room right now, nobody in this damn house matters.
All right, so who's next, Ralph? Let's move on. He said nobody else matters.
All right, tell us how you really feel. Okay. All right, we got 2 more battles to go for tonight. So our next battle is Holly Robinson from the show. Holly Robinson Pete from the show 21 Jump Street versus Nicole Bahari from Sleepy Hollow.
Okay.
Sleepy Hollow.
All right. I'm gonna go. I don't make this. It's not such a quick decision for me, but the fact that Sleepy Hollow went to crap when Nicole Bahari left the show.
Say that again.
That show was like just went to crap.
It just went downhill.
When Nicole Bahari left that show. Love Holly Robinson, Pete. Love 21 Jump Street. But 21 Jump Street, she wasn't the main character. There was a bunch of characters, and it was still a great show. But Nicole Bahari was the main. She was the meat of that show, and that show, even with that same guy there, whatever his name was, who played Crane. Even with him there, the show just really lost a lot without her character.
Because here's the thing, because I'm gonna call it what it is. Those racist motherfuckers over at Fox thought that, oh well, the show started out being about Ichabod Crane, and and she slowly it became about her.
I mean, even with it being about Crane, she was the perfect contrast to his character, and her character, and and the way she played the character. I mean, they learned the hard way. They thought that they could replace her with another beautiful, and she did. They did replace her with that. I can never pronounce her name, but she's a beautiful woman. Played in a lot of other stuff. She was in The Gates. She was in a lot of stuff. Yeah, but you can't just replace a pretty woman with another pretty woman, or even a pretty woman with a prettier woman. If you think that,
can we call it what it was? They thought that, oh well, since he's the man and he's the male lead, I'm not going to say what I really want to say, but y'all get the point. They thought that, oh well, the show is about him. It's about Sleepy Hollow. It's about him.
Yeah, it's about Crane. It's about Sleepy Hollow. It's really about the town.
Right.
But,
it's about the town.
The town is a character in the show.
Right. But what they and that was the other mistake they did. They took it out of Sleepy Hollow and brought it
to Washington D.C. Like, get out of here.
It was almost like they were trying to be in competition with Bones.
Which stupid. It was just stupid, man. But yeah, I got to go with Nicole Bahari here because she had a great impact on her respective show. I think she's more attractive, in my opinion. So the aesthetics part of it, I think she's more attractive. I love Holly Robinson, but I'm going with Nicole Bahari.
Who is Holly Robinson?
It's Holly Robinson.
No, there's but the Holly Robinson. I mean, but you're right. She was not the draw. 21 Jump Street.
But she did do the theme song. Little nugget there. She did sing the theme song for 21 Jump Street.
They didn't put her
in. And she didn't. If they took her out, the show would go on.
Yeah, of course.
It would be by Anne.
The show went on without Johnny Depp.
Yeah, exactly. So it's.
I definitely go with that because you didn't see Holly Robinson again. I mean, but then again, you saw her with Hanging with Mr. Cooper. That's when she came back on Hanging with Mr. Cooper. I liked her in that show too.
Okay,
I did like her in that show. Nicole Bahari is missing in action. I haven't seen her in a minute.
She was just in the movie Breaking with oh God, what's his name? Damn it, he was the stormtrooper.
Oh yeah, okay.
He was just I just watched that movie. It was actually pretty good. She was I got a feeling this is like her reintroduction into.
So. I think I'd love to learn more about what was going on with her because remember she left that show on bad note too. They kind of like recasted her, or, not recasted her, but took her character out on some real sus type ish. All right, so Nicole Bahari moves on. All right, and our final battle of the night, people. Thank you for sticking around and hanging out with us. What's the final battle of the night?
Our final battle of the night is Maggie Q from the show Nikita versus Jamie Chung from the show The Gifted.
Wait.
Ooh.
Wait.
I can't even. I have to. I gotta blindfold myself and flip a coin as far as looks goes. I mean, Jesus Christ. Um, um,
Unfortunately, I'm just gonna set it off. Unfortunately, yeah. Homegirl from The Gifted is fine. Those eyes are
no,
incredible.
yeah.
But
Remember, that's just the eyes from the show, though. That's not her real eyes.
yeah, but even look at the eyes.
Yeah, I
Look,
mean, she's beautiful. Yeah, she's beautiful.
that's why those contacts work so well on her. Because
Hmm.
look at her. She's
She's awesome.
gorgeous.
She's
And
beautiful.
she's very strong. She was a very strong character in The Gifted, as well as
Not the main character. Yeah.
as well as being in the movie. Which I thought that was awesome that they they kept her character in the movie. Um, but Jesus Christ, Nikita.
Yeah, I mean, Maggie Q, Nikita. I mean, that show was so dope too. You know what? She was up against the wall from the beginning. Because remember, there was already a Nikita
See, I'm
show.
already good.
There
I
was
mean, I
already a
think James Caan
Nikita show that was a
yeah,
successful show on that.
and a
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, and the movie La Femme Nikita, where it sparked it all. The show that was on the Sci-Fi Channel, whatever channel was on, that was a very successful show. And so here it comes, reimaged again with her as Nikita. And I mean, every this picture of her right here, this is how she looked in almost every episode. She looked great. Like it was just I don't know. And her character obviously was the main character of the show and drove the show. She definitely had a bigger impact because of that. Her show was bigger. Her character was more important. And like I said, I flip a coin as far as the looks go. So I have to go by other things. I can't use looks because I can't. I can't use looks. So I got to go by the other things. And I'm going with Maggie Q. Nikita. That's what it is.
See,
Right there.
I'm kind of leaning towards. I'm kind of leaning towards the same way when you take in that you're the third person to play Nikita, but right now you're the only one that we see as Nikita. You know,
Right.
you took a role that was originally, a role that was originally done by I think the girl that played it is British. No, she's not British. She's I think
She was
she's
French,
German,
I think.
right? She's French.
You mean from
right?
the from the yeah, she was French from the movie, yeah.
Right. So you take a role that was played by a French girl, then you take one that got redone by an American girl, and then you did another
Yeah.
show, and now you're the fourth generation of it. But out of all of your version is the
Yeah, you're the one that everyone remembers. So I'm sorry, but Maggie got it all the way. Yeah, that's right. It's you right on the same page, bruh. You're on the same page. We know that. I mean, I love Jamie. No, like I said, I couldn't even judge their looks because Jamie Chung is gorgeous, but Maggie Q, man. Every time I see her in something, I'm like, oh, Maggie. Matter of fact, I liked her show that didn't stay on long. She's been on 2 shows since then. She was on that show, Madam something, but she was on a show that was about like serial killers or something like that, right? Or what was the name of that show she was on? It was short lived, but I actually kind of liked it. It was like a stalker. Was that what it was called? Was it called Stalker?
Who?
The show that Maggie Q. Maggie
I
Q.
don't
Oh
know
yeah,
about that one.
Yeah.
yeah.
She had a show that was like short lived. It was on like CBS, but it was actually a pretty good show. I liked it. I wish they would have gave it a little more of a chance, but I believe it was called Stalker or something like that.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
It
That's
was
what
called Stalker, yeah. That's what it was called. And she was in that show. The show was actually pretty cool. I thought it was. Maggie, showed up in that, and then she's on that Designated Survivor show as well. She also voices Wonder Woman in a lot of the Young Justice episodes. People know.
Yeah.
You were in Young
She was in
Justice
Mission,
episode.
she was
She
in
does
Mission
the voice.
Impossible.
Right? She's in Mission Impossible. She was in the Divergent series. She had that show, the Protege, that movie, The Protege, that she did. That's the more recent. She's got a couple other joints coming out. Pivoting, that's a show she's on as well. So, she's doing a thing. She Maggie, and she's just so fine.
I wanted to say two things before I
Sorry,
get.
Jamie. We got to get it before you continue, Kev. We got to get something. We got to have like a hey, goodbye. We got to have something or something like sorry. Or like my man used to play the comedy show I used to go to. They used to play I'm leaving her.
No. I got something.
They say leaving instead of easy. Uh-huh.
No, I got something for the people that don't make it through. I got a little something for them. I got something for them. I have to show you when we go off air because we don't want YouTube to flag us until I redo it. But I got something for them. I tell you about when we go off air.
She did a movie with Samuel Jackson recently. Yeah, that was the movie called The Protege, where she was a trained killer. Yeah, it gave me Nikita vibes. That definitely was giving Nikita. That show, The Protege, was like the movie that we never got from Nikita. Because I was hoping, and I knew they probably wouldn't do that, but I was hoping they swung back around and did a movie with Maggie Q as Nikita. That's what I was hoping for. I was mad when that show went off. I loved that show. I didn't miss that show. Matter of fact, I think I'm gonna go back and binge that show. That show was dope. Yeah, that was that we need. Yeah, I agree. It would have been nice to have, but that's kind of like what The Protege became. It became like the Nikita movie of Maggie Q that we all wanted and deserved, damn it. But there you have it. So just real quick, Ralph, run down the people that move on, the winners from this round.
Okay, so the winners of tonight, we got to get like a clap for them. We have Pamela moving to the second round. It's Pamela Anderson from Baywatch, Linda Carter as Wonder Woman, Alyssa Milano from Charmed, Kelly Coco from the Big Bang Theory, Joan Collins from Dynasty, Lucy Lawless as Xena, the Warrior Princess, Nicole Behari from Sleepy Hollow, and Maggie Q as Nikita. Congratulations to our winners. Next round coming up.
Next round coming up next week. We'll go to the next round of players, and as we narrow down the field of 64, television's hottest women and characters of all time. 5 decades worth of research, and thank y'all for playing. And for the people who did not move on, we have some nice parting gifts for you. Some canned squid and my phone number. But anyway, so that's how we go. I'll take the losers. That's so bad. I'm just being a man right now. But anyway, yeah. So next week we'll go into that. Sometimes you just gotta be it. We'll go into next week. We'll continue on going forward with the winners of it. We want to thanks everybody that came through. Love the chat room, man. Y'all held us down. You know what I'm saying? I am Yusef. Thank you, man. You held us down big time. You stayed engaged. You know what I mean? Thank you. Thank you to all of the people that joined, the new members that joined our members only on the IE network. As I said at the top of the show, you get exclusive content with that, mostly right now with the Heaven Hollywood experience and Heaven Hollywood shows, but you will be getting more exclusive content from all the shows, including Real Talk. We're going to start doing some other things like some breakdowns and some reaction videos, things that we don't normally do because we kind of try to stay away from reaction videos because YouTube is really anal about that. They bug you a lot. So we'll figure something out. But we appreciate y'all for joining, and continue hit the subscribe button if you have not already. Share this with your friends, like it, comment, stay engaged, and we'll catch y'all next week. Like I said, Yusuf, thank you. Joseph, of course, always hold us down. Who else came through?
And watch out for my show,
Man,
bitch ass nigga.
Keep it 100 came through. Keep it 100 came through. Thank you for that. Shout out to
that's my boy right there.
That was your boy.
That's my boy Marcus.
Gallo
thank you, Marcus, for watching the show.
Through.
Hey,
Nikki joined as a new member. We appreciate you there. Our boy really, he supported. Love that. Thank you. Who else? Amazing came through. Became a new member. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Welcome. Johnny was in here, got us all up in an uproar, talking about who could beat Vader. Thank you for coming through and engaging. We appreciate you. This is your time now. I'm just trying to shout y'all out. Doris, thank you very much for coming through. I know she came through and probably left. We love Doris. She came through and did her thing. She always hold us down. She's out there doing her thing. I think she's in Little Rock, Arkansas. Is that where she's at? She was like in Arkansas, I think. Doing her thing out there, man, with the Comic Cons and stuff she's bringing in. Who else? Does anybody else that I forgot? Joseph, of course, always comes through. He said Eric and Ian is coming. I'm good. It's better without Hurricane. Oh, yeah, Joseph, buckle down, man. I forgot you in Florida. I think he's in Central Florida too. If he's in Central Florida,
please.
Shout out to everybody in Florida. Be safe. I hope you get out there, get your water, if you're gonna stay and ride out the hurricane, get your non-perishables, get your water, get your flashlights, get your batteries. Be ready. Be prepared. Do not get caught off guard. You have time. The thing with hurricanes, you got time to either leave or you got time to prepare. So please, you people, all of you, all my people, I got a lot of family. I'm gonna be calling and checking on them. Make sure you, if you're gonna batten down the hatches and ride out the storm, shout out to y'all, man, and sending positive energy and safe prayers over to you, Joseph. And that goes for everybody out there. And here's, what's that? Cleveland Wilcox, new member. Thank you. Whatever you got going over there, Ralph, sounds like Predator or something. It's like, it's like this.
I'm not even saying anything.
You don't have to say anything. It's something. It's something from. It's one of your electronics or something. But anyhow. And I didn't want to forget her too. Right, Lashonda Moore. Thank you for coming through, and thank you for joining as a member. You guys filled out the.
Got a fan or something running over there.
Sound like a fan or something.
There's nothing.
Maybe
on
it's the
in
fan,
this entire
fan
room.
from your computer. Maybe it's definitely making noise, Ralph. I don't know what it is. It's your computer, then. It's some sort of noise coming through from your computer.
Well, yeah, the fan from the computer is going on, but it's not loud enough where you should be hearing it.
I hear it loud and clear. All right, so that's it. Thank you, everybody. Y'all have a good night. Peace out.